No, not yet, but you know what? We're going live right this motherfucking minute.
Oh,
What up,
nice.
everybody? How y'all doing tonight? It's your favorite fucking skeptic on the internet and the best goddamn show on YouTube, Team Skeptic Live. And we're gonna chat with you guys tonight. We got a special guest, and when I mean special, he's extra special in my heart because he hates the same people. Well, he doesn't hate them, I guess, but he fucking makes fun of the same people that I love to make fun of. And that would be my good friend, Reckless Ben. How you doing tonight, sir?
What's up? How's it going?
Oh, yeah. We're doing it live for you guys tonight. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk with Reckless Ben about his fucking ultimate troll of Nathan Thompson. We're also going to talk about his channel in general, where he plans on taking it, what he's done, and all that kind of cool shit. And give you guys a good chance to actually get to know the person, Reckless Ben. So let's start out by just telling everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your channel, what you like to do, in case they're not already familiar with your recent troll. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, my channel name is Reckless Ben. And yeah, basically I started this channel in January. I think it was January 1st is actually when I uploaded my first YouTube video. Not sure. Basically, yeah, I moved to California to become a professional slackliner, which is I do this sport where it sounds crazy, but you have like a 2 inch piece of webbing, and then I do like flips on it and stuff. That's kind of the basic thing. And then coronavirus hits, and all my slackline competitions get canceled. I'm like, how am I going to make money? So I'm like, oh, I like making videos. I would always make slackline videos. So it's like, oh, maybe I can just go on YouTube and stuff. So I moved into this house right across from the street of Scientology. It's this big corrupt cult, basically. And I was like, yo, I'm going to take these guys down. I'm going to infiltrate their cult and, yeah, see what it's like to be a Scientologist. And that kind of took off. And then I was like, dang, maybe I could do more of these things. So, um, yeah, I was like, yeah, let's prank the flat earthers. That'll be funny. And we did that. That's been my latest series. And hopefully I can keep doing more stuff like this because I think it's really funny to prank these type of organizations. And yeah, it's kind of the basic rundown of my channel, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So we have a $5 super chat from Jackalope Herdmaster. He says, "Awesome troll, Reckless Ben. You are amazing." And I agree, man. You
Oh,
trolled flat
thank
Earth.
you.
You trolled flat Earth better than fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson does. You know, like you and I guess Bill Nye and what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Y'all would be the top three trolls of the flat Earth right now.
Well,
And
the problem with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, in my opinion, is they never give the flat earthers a chance to actually. They don't actually hear out the flat earther side, you know. So how can you properly troll them if you're not hearing them out, you know? And then also, I feel like a really good way to troll flat earthers is you kind of do hear them out and just let them troll themselves, you know.
yeah, that's the best kind of
But
troll because they will troll themselves if you just give them enough time to speak. We had a
just
two
give them a
dollars.
megaphone and yeah.
We had a £2 or €2 from Crafty Keela, who also became a new member. Thank you, love. You know how I feel about you, Crafty. Says giving some love before a fantastic stream, and thank you. You know it's gonna always be fantastic when I'm involved. Fuck YouTube and everybody in the chat, please do the obligatory fuck YouTube. YouTube's screwing my channel over a little bit right now, Reckless Spin, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
Oh no.
So fuck YouTube, everybody in the chat, and mods be ready to approve everybody that says fucking fuck YouTube because
Wait,
I agree
I
with
wanna
that.
add on to that. So, I know a lot of social. There's a big social media trend recently that it's kind of a controversial thing where, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they're starting to censor people that are wrong. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
people that talk about like election fraud and stuff, a lot of times people will be like they'll get censored.
Hmm.
Nathan, the entire weekend, his big Facebook flat Earth group actually got deleted because I guess it was spreading false information. And the entire time, Nathan was like, "Yeah, I used to be in charge of the biggest." He would brag, "I used to be in charge of the biggest flat Earth group until it recently got deleted." And the entire time, I was kind of like, "Eh, like he kind of deserved." But then now I'm kind of getting shadow banned, and I know that because I'm getting context underneath my YouTube videos that says like flat Earth is an archaic model, like don't believe this.
Yeah.
Here's the context of what this video actually is, and it's like, yo, my video is making fun of flat Earth. Like, why am I getting shadow banned because of this?
But yeah, that's the same thing I'm
Stupid.
having to deal with right now because I told you pre-show that I kind of shifted my focus a little bit towards the anti-mask like COVIDiots and stuff. And for me to actually make good videos on that, I have to include the source material, which is anti-mask. So they're telling me I had one of my videos recently removed, and they told me that it was removed because I was spreading false information in contradiction to the WHO's guidelines on social distancing. I'm like, what the fuck are you? Did you guys even fucking watch my video? Like, my video is like, I'm calling idiots like 35, 40 times in one video. There's no way
That's
that
so
anybody
funny.
could even fucking mistakenly believe that I'm promoting fucking anti WHO guidelines. There's no fucking way. So yeah,
But
you're
the
right.
algorithm's there, and we have to work around it. So like, I
You're right
found
about
out
that.
this series that like you gotta make it a way so the algorithm can recognize that you're not trying to promote these false beliefs. And maybe that was a mistake I made this series, and next series I'll have to find a way to get around it. But
Oh yeah.
it's what we have to deal with.
Let me show you this real quick. This is how I got around it. Out. Well, let me bring in the image real quick. But this is what I had to do to eventually get my videos to be monetized, and I had to put up this disclaimer right here whenever whenever I
This
do
video
my
supports the current guidelines set forth by. So
if
funny, dude.
if a furry can wear a mask, you can too, and I have to do it
We need
audibly. And
those
that's what they told
disclaimers.
me. Yeah, that's what they told me. They said, look, it's not good enough that you're just saying that, they're idiots. You got to actually promote the guidelines themselves. And I was like, okay, so fuck it. I'll promote the guidelines myself in a fucking video or in a picture. Let's see. We says from fuck YouTube for $5 says being a flurf isn't at all it's quacked up to be. Sorry, I'll duck out now. No, yeah, we'll get to the duck part because the duck part. I really want to know how you guys came up with that. In fact, we'll stop the super chats right here so that you can answer this question. Who had the ingenious idea of making of arriving in a duck suit?
So yeah, I wrote this script in. I think I spent 3 days on it. So I just locked myself in my room. It was probably like 12, 15 hour days. Just like I would wake up, drink some coffee or whatever, just get on my computer, like research everything about flat Earth, how to parody them, uh, and like find out because that was the hard thing about flat Earth was like how do you really do the correct troll? And for me, I felt like the way to do it was like it's always been done from the round earther side point of view before. And so I was like, I'm gonna do this troll from the flat earthers point of view, and that way you can actually see how they think. I'm gonna be the first person to answer how they think, what a flat earther's like, what it's like to be a flat earther. And yeah, and so one of the things I was like, okay, we got to make this like as ridiculous as possible. I kind of really like the Eric Andre type of humor, where it's just like absurdity, like crazy things are happening the
Yeah,
whole time to real life people. So I was like, okay, we got to make them wear something crazy. So I was like, what's something that blocks electricity? Rubber does, right? Because that's why they put rubber on the outside
yeah,
of
yeah.
uh, like coils and stuff. And so I typed in rubber suit in Amazon, and the first thing that comes up is a rubber duck costume. I'm like, that'd be funny. Like, if I was that stupid to actually think that this rubber duck was like gonna protect us when I type in rubber suit. So I was like, maybe the flat earthers will believe it. Let's see if it works. And I was just like, this is a funny joke, and just ordered it. And then it was like, dude, he's never gonna wear this. So like we had a crew of like 8 to 10 people with us that day. So we're like, dude, if we're all just like, we have to wear the suits. If everyone's just on board, like we'll just get Nathan with the bandwagon effect, if like everyone's doing it, so you have to do it too. Like if you're in a group of 10 people, it's a lot more awkward to be like, I'm the one that's not going to wear the suit. Like that's a lot more awkward than actually wearing the suit at that point. And so that's the position we tried to put Nathan in. And like, obviously, like he didn't know anything about like we were just using big words and stuff, and he didn't know anything. He was like, "Yeah, I'll wear it and I'll look it up later whether it's true or not." And then we just kept him busy, so we never got the chance to end up looking it up. But that's kind of how we made it happen, you know?
So that was all your idea, though. The duck suit was your idea ultimately.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was 100
But
IQ plus play point right there. So
yeah, we kind of wrote a crazy script, and then yeah, the script like would kind of go like this throughout, but we kind of stayed on the rough thing throughout the whole time. Like there was a little rough script, and then dude Blake, he was the other Harvard student. I actually just met him like a month ago. Um, he was just in some video that I was doing. He was like a mutual friend that I had of like a mutual friend, and I was like, "Yo, like, do you want to play this Harvard student?" And he's like, "Sure." And then he's a fantastic improviser. So I'm really good at like writing like scripts of like how I want the story to go, but in the moment, I'm terrible at thinking of ideas. So then Blake was the perfect like partner to me because he always knew what to say when something wasn't written down, you know? Where I work
yeah,
really well if it's written down first and I can like re-say lines that I've already pre-written. But like Blake was fantastic at like Nathan would ask us a question, I'm like, "Oh, what do we say?" And then Blake would just be able to answer it like on the spot. It was incredible. So we
dude,
made like the perfect team. It was great.
the way, yeah, to know that he did most of that on improv, that speaks a lot on his skill, because, or his talents,
Dude,
because
Blake's incredible. But that's what
yeah,
he like. That's why he came to California was to be like a actor for improv. Like that's what he specializes in is like improv acting. So he's phenomenal at it. Blake is yeah. I got really lucky finding a Blake right before this.
you guys didn't look like or he didn't look like he was improving it too much. He looked very natural in the way he presented everything to Nathan, the way he just answered the questions with the exact
It's
way.
crazy. Dude, he played the nerd so he like in real life he's like not nerdy like at all, which is hilarious. Like he's totally just playing like a whole entire fake character he made up the entire time. Like where I was more like kind of myself, like I would try to be nerdy, but like I'm not an actor, so I just am good at like I'm a professional athlete, you know, like I'm not good at acting. I have like a crazy mind that can think of these crazy concepts. But then Blake actually is able to like take my crazy ideas and like make it like believable on screen, you know, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, like I said, man, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was an amazing troll. I can't, we were talking about it earlier. Normal people wouldn't have fallen for this. They wouldn't have. Like, it really takes somebody who needs the confirmation bias, or who really just lacks the intelligence and lacks critical thinking to fall for something as stupid as this. And you guys did it so beautifully, because he fell for it and he ate it up. And man, it was like hook, line, and sinker from the moment. I'm sure the moment you said, "Hey, we're from Harvard," he was like, "Oh God, oh God, these guys know what they're talking about." He didn't even check. He didn't even bother looking into your backgrounds. He just said, "Oh, they're Harvard graduates." He says it over and over. And in your fourth video, which we'll go ahead and plug that right now, everybody, if you haven't seen episode 4 of that troll video, it came out today, correct?
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
out. I stayed up all night last night editing it. And finally this morning, like the sun was risen, I posted it and then went to sleep and then I just woke up right before this interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in the whole time he's arguing, he's defending himself about why he believes you. He keeps saying, "But they're Harvard students, they're Harvard students." And it's like, oh,
And that's
he's
why I
just eating
think
it up.
this documentary is probably one of the best flat Earth documentaries ever. I mean, there's not a lot of them, but I just think that I don't want to sound like cocky, but like I think this documentary actually shows like how a flat earther thinks. You know, so in my opinion, it's not just flat Earth. It's just all conspiracy theories. They believe it because not necessarily it's true, but because it's fun to believe. So like in Nathan's case, it is fun to believe that you're one of the only people out there that know the true shape of the earth, that oh, everyone else is being lied to and I know the truth. Like that's a fun belief to have. And like if you believe in like ghosts, you can like talk to dead people. Like that's super. If I have the ability to see dead people and no one else can see them, like that's a super fun belief. Or like, oh, I'm psychic. I can read people's minds. Like that's if you actually believe that, that's super fun to believe. So we kind of just took advantage of how conspiracy theorists think, and if you give them something that's not necessarily true, but something that is fun for them to believe, most times they'll end up believing it, is at least like the theory I had going into this. So the entire story was like the girlfriend ends up breaking up with Blake because she becomes a flat earther, which is similar to Nathan's belief. Now Blake ends up becoming a flat earther, so it's all coming, like everyone's now believing in Nathan. So then Nathan brings them together. She's seen his YouTube videos before, so now she's a fan of him. Like this is like dream come true for Nathan. So even though it's not true, it's fun for Nathan to believe. And so he's going to believe it, not because it's true, but because it's fun. So it's kind of a whole metaphor of like, how do conspiracy theorists think? This is how they think. They base off of what's fun to believe. They prioritize what's fun to believe over what's true to believe, you know?
Yeah.
And it is a little bit dangerous to think that way, but we don't really get into like whether it's a good or bad to think. We just get into like the root of like why they're believing what they believe, I guess, is kind of the point of our documentary.
Yeah, now there have been a couple of other documentaries on it. Like probably the most popular one and the most famous one is the Netflix mockumentary, is what they, the flat earthers dub it, where, even though they're really following around flat earthers, they're really only pointing out the times when they're acting stupid, So I do think that yours is right up there with theirs, as being one of the top trolls.
Theirs was much more well made than ours, and like they probably put a lot more effort into making that than ours. Like I spent 3 days planning mine out, and then we took 3 days to film it. So yeah, they definitely put a lot more work into theirs. They had better equipment, and I don't know. Like we were just trying to do something that's never been done before, I guess. You could probably argue theirs is better than ours. I don't know.
Well,
But
production,
at the
they
end of the
probably had
day,
millions of dollars to put into their production, where I'm sure y'all were working
I
on
don't know.
your budget.
Actually, so I actually talked to Nathan after the whole thing. After I did the Irish Demons podcast, I called Nathan, and he actually apologized to being so like hateful to me on the podcast. And the reason his hate towards me was mainly because we didn't pay him for everything we said we'd pay him. So then ended up paying him, and then he actually ended up being really friendly to me on our phone call afterwards. And one of the things I asked him was, "So you were on Behind the Curve the entire time. I was afraid that because you were on an actual Netflix documentary, you would call us out on like being a fake travel channel type of thing. Like I thought you were gonna call us out the entire time." And he's like, "Dude, your guys' thing was so much more legit than the Behind the Curve. Behind the Curve, they didn't fly me out. They just they sent one guy with a camera over to my house, asked me questions for 2 hours, and then left." It's like, oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
they made a pretty good mockery of it, but I really do think you guys did better, especially since Nathan is kind of there's really Nathan Thompson and Mark Sargent. Those are like the two names of the flat earth. If you were to really
Oh
look
yeah.
into it, like if you go on YouTube, you're gonna eventually run it, or in Eric Dubay. So you got Eric Dubay, Nathan Thompson, and Mark Sargent. And you guys went with Nathan Thompson, which I think was a better choice because, well, Mark Sargent, he's really open to being ridiculed. Nathan's not. He doesn't appreciate
Uh-huh.
ridicule. He doesn't want to be ridiculed. He wants to be right. I think Mark Sargent kind of likes the attention more. So he opens himself up a little bit more to ridicule, like when he knows he's going to be ridiculed. Like if Nathan knew you were there to troll him, it would not have gone down the way it went down. Like he would have had to have believed that you were there for his benefit before he would ever be a part of it. And
Uh-huh.
Eric Dubay, he's just, I doubt he would have even given you time of day because you're just not one of his cult followers. But let's
I
get,
think I'm gonna give you a little secret right now. Mark Sargent was actually our first pick to bring out, just because he is like kind of the face of flat Earth. Basically, the only research I did into flat Earth before this was I watched the Behind the Curve documentary. That was the extent of my research, and Mark Sargent was the star of it. So we're like, dude,
yeah.
let's bring this guy out. So we called him. I actually had our fake director call him and like had this whole conversation with him. And Mark Sargent is super excited to come out. However, I messed up when buying his plane ticket. I got him a plane ticket that left California at 7 a.m. and that was too early for him. and he threw this big like little temper tantrum thing and was like, I can't, like, you guys are so unprofessional and stuff, and he's like, I can't wake up that early, that's way too early for me. And so he's like, you know what, screw it, I'm out of here. And so I like wasted a plane ticket on him. I was like, dang it, I was
Yeah.
so mad. This
Mark
idea is happening in 2 days. And then we got Nathan. I was like, who's the next best person behind the curve? Nathan. I'm like, dude, this guy might be even better, because he's like yelling at everyone how the earth. Like, dude, this guy might be better. So then we ended flying Nathan out, like literally the day before we were gonna do it. Like, we called him, and within a day we got him out to California, and it ended up. I think it was probably for the best. We did have some plans with Mark. So Mark and Nathan have different beliefs on why they think the Earth is flat. Nathan's is more for religious reasons, and Mark's is more for other conspiracy reasons. And we had a whole like separate script written out for Mark, so I had to like rewrite the whole script for Nathan. But basically, I'll give you a little secret. We were gonna Mark. I heard in an interview once he said that he thinks that the Earth could be flat because we're living in a simulation. So we had this whole like simulation thing, like how we're gonna try and break out of the simulation. And with Nathan, he totally doesn't believe in that because
Yeah.
he thinks that like God created us, not the outside simulation people. So I think actually our next project is going to be, we're going to get people that believe in the simulation, and we're going to do that whole, because I already have a whole script written out for it. It's incredible. And we're going to do kind of the same type of thing, but with people that believe that we're living in a simulation. We're going to break out of it, and it's going to be great. But that's, I think, might be our next project, is to continue on.
No, that'd
But
be
yeah,
cool.
Nathan totally wasn't on board for the simulation idea. He's like, nope, God created us. That's it. No outside aliens. Aliens don't exist. It's just us. We're the most important people in this entire universe. Earth is center of the universe. Sun revolves around us. So we couldn't end up doing that with Nathan, which was sad. But
Well, I'll tell you.
what we did was fun.
I'll tell you, in the future, when you want to do something with Mark Sargent, you have to typically schedule things for after his mom wakes up, because that's going to be who's taking him to the airport and picking him up and everything like that. So 7 a.m., I think she sleeps till at least 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to
No,
have to
he was leaving
schedule.
California at 7 a.m. Like, I think his plane left was like leaving at 7 a.m. So I think he would have had to get up at like 5 a.m. But we were like, yeah, we have a personal driver for you. We had everything you needed. I think he just didn't want to wake up that early. But we scheduled like Nathan. His plane flight left at like 7 a.m. and he didn't care. He was much cooler with it. He just stayed up all night. Like, we were up till like, I think 2 in the morning filming or something. He just stayed up, and he was like, yeah, I can sleep on the plane. He was super cool about it.
Yeah, so we have Robert Williams for 4.99. He said, "I had fun. You suck. I had fun. I'm talking to a lawyer. I had a great time. It was fun. You're a terrible person. It was fun, and I'm suing you." I guess that's all fucking coming from Nathan Thompson, changing his
That's what he
story
said
by
on.
saying, "Oh yeah, I had
That's what he said
fun.
on
Oh,
Irish
screw these
Demon's
guys."
channel.
Yeah,
So
but
obviously, when he said he had fun, he was using it as like he was angry towards us, like, because I think Nathan's whole thing is he's so used to people just every single interaction he has with someone that doesn't agree with him, it's like war. So it's always like, this person's out to destroy me. And so I guess he just assumed that we were the same thing, like, because now that he found out that I believe in a globe Earth, not a flat Earth, he's like, oh, well, now that he doesn't believe in flat Earth, this guy's automatically here to destroy me. So like, I had fun was like a defense of like, I'm right, you're wrong, but he's still angry at me. And so then when he found out we paid him, he has a nicer attitude towards me now. But yeah, I don't know. It was like a mix up. Part of it was my fault for not paying him, but then it was also back on his fault because it's like he never sent me the receipts that we asked him to, but then we were also lying to him the entire weekend. So like, he just assumed that we were going to lie to him about us paying. So like, I see how there was a problem with that, and we got it resolved, but yeah, it was comical as it was happening. I thought, at least.
then we have Carrie Bronson for $10, says, "To give overwhelming benefit of the doubt, if he comes out as a Poe this time next week, we will have had the last laugh with your prank. I got you idiots to spend so much energy and money on me." Did he tell you that it was really that he really got over on y'all because y'all ended up spending the money and dropping the money to have fun with him?
Well, I mean, the whole point wasn't to like burn Nathan, I guess. Like it was the whole point was to like kind of show how conspiracy theorists think. Like this is because just to answer all the questions that I had about conspiracy theorists, because I have a lot of questions. Like I'm definitely not a conspiracy theorist. So for me, it's crazy when someone says like the Earth is flat. I'm like, why? You know? And there's just so many questions of like, how can someone's thought process do math to equal up at all of these different conspiracies? So the point of this documentary was not necessarily to be like, okay, let's completely destroy Nathan. It was just like, let's just see how they think. Let's see how he arrives at his conclusions. Because our thought processes are different. So it was more like a learning thing on my part. Like, let's learn how these people think. Let's learn what their lives are like. And that was more of what our documentary was about. But what was the question again? I kind of got off. I forgot.
Oh no,
She
they were
said,
just yeah, they were just asking if you that's what his position's going to be if he comes out as a Poe is basically, that he's the last one. He got you guys because you guys ended up spending money on him.
yeah.
Oh,
So the whole thing of like Nathan being like, oh, well, jokes on that. Like I think Nathan kind of sees it as war, like we're out to get them just because we disagree with them. Where that was never like I'm not here to like bring anyone down. I'm not here to like destroy anyone's life to cancel anyone. Like I was just here to be like, okay, like why is this happening? Why are there people that believe in a flat Earth? And
yeah.
the documentary is to answer those questions. So now Nathan's like coming at us like oh well these guys are the real losers. It's like I don't want anyone to be a loser. Like why can't we win with our documentary? Why can't you win? Like you got a free flight to LA, you got to have fun. Like why can't
Free
you win? Why
exposure.
can't we all win?
Yeah, you got free exposure. The flat Earth is now going to
Yeah,
be seen by people who may not have seen it before, and who knows, maybe they're going to be flat Earth idiots one day. All because of
yeah,
because he saw Nathan on your documentary, which is fine too. Now, I want to ask you a question. The girl that you got to play the part of Blake's girlfriend, right? Did
yeah.
was was she an actor or an actress that you brought in as well, or was that Blake's actual girlfriend?
So she's going to come in episode 5. She plays a really big part in the 5th episode. I don't want to spoil anything, but
Okay, yeah.
yeah, basically, she's a professional slackliner also that I met at a slackline competition like 2 years ago. And yeah, we've been friends. We did a big road trip together like 2 years ago. So she's just one of my slackline friends. And she just moved into our house. Like, I think she moved in on Halloween, so about a month ago. And she was like, yeah, like I have like she works at some like software engineering, like some app marketing place, or she has like a real life human job. And we were doing this on the weekend, so she's like, yeah, I had some free time. I'm like, yo, you want to play the part of Blake's girlfriend? I just need you like so first for episode 3. I was like, yeah, because she was working all day, so she couldn't actually come to the set with us. So I was like, yeah, we're just gonna call you and just set up like 5 free minutes that you can talk to us. She's like, okay. And her and Blake had never met before. Like I think the phone call was their first time actually like talking to each other.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, this guy's gonna call you. Here's his number, and then just pretend that you like just broke up with him and that you're a big fan of Nathan. That's like kind of what I said. And like, don't get back together with Blake. Like, I like just keep denying everything Blake says until eventually, if you keep denying it, Nathan will be forced to get on. And then like when Nathan gets on, pretend like you're a big fan of him, and then he'll do whatever you want to say, and then just act like you're down to get back with Blake or whatever.
Well,
But make sure Nathan is the one that gets you guys together, and
y-
then yeah, and then she ends up appearing in episode 5, and we're like, yeah, it'd be funny if we brought her back. And I feel like if I talk anymore, I'm going to spoil it. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let's not
it
spoil
gets
it.
pretty
Let's
funny.
let's make sure everybody out there has a reason to watch episode 5 and not watch this podcast for episode 5 because episode 4. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've watched it almost twice through now because I watched it after you let me know that it was up, and I was like, okay, let me go check this out real quick and make sure that I'm on point with that already. But then I was like, dude, that was too funny. Let me rewind this and watch it again. And I got about 2/3 the way through it, and man, it's just like episode 4 was really good. So seeing, I can't wait for episode 5 to come up. Do you have an anticipated date on that?
Oh, every Thursday. I think on my my YouTube cover it says every episode every Monday. That was the last series. I need to change that. But it's every Thursday I upload at 9 a.m. What's it called? 9 a.m. California time. So I think where you're from on the central time zone, it should be like 11
11.
a.m.
Yeah, 11
But
a.m.
but yeah, 9 a.m. every Thursday, California time. And I'm hoping to keep this schedule now because I have like 4 or 5 more scripts written with like different conspiracy theorist groups I'm going to infiltrate, and like I have ideas and ideas. So I am hoping to do every week for like hopefully the next like couple of years, you know. But that's going to be the new date, 9 a.m. on Thursdays.
Well, I don't want to ruin any of your upcoming videos, so I'll just turn it over
You don't
to
have to
you
ruin
right
it. I
now.
mean,
And
we
well,
can talk about them.
okay, well,
I don't care.
why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what plans you have as far as troll videos coming up, prank videos.
As long as the people that I'm trolling aren't listening. I mean, if they are listening, congratulations. You've caught me. But I don't know. I'm not a big YouTuber yet, so I feel like I'm still in the phase where I can get away with this stuff. But yeah, we've just interviewed a bunch of people that believe that we're living in a simulation, and kind of like the same thing. Like our goal isn't to like tear these people down and be like, oh, these are terrible people. The goal is just like I think it's crazy that you can see like this little thing happening and be like, oh, that's obvious proof we're living in a simulation, you know? So it's gonna be kind of a like we're just gonna dive deep and see how these people think. We're gonna go on this crazy fantasy that we're gonna act out in real life, I guess is the best way to describe it. Um, and yeah, it's going to be our next series is the simulation. We're thinking about doing QAnon. If anyone, I have a great script written out for QAnon. The only problem we're having is QAnon likes to talk in these secret Facebook groups. So it's really hard to like go in because I'm actually not part of QAnon, so I can't mess with them. But if anyone knows how to infiltrate a QAnon group, I have a great script written for that one. It's just finding people that believe in QAnon is very hard to find.
Yeah,
But yeah,
especially when what we were talking about earlier, how, YouTube does a lot of censorship. So you really have to go outside of what
yeah,
most people's comfort zone is when looking for material. I mean, for me, once they took anti-maskers off of YouTube, I was like, I can't find these people. And then someone was like, go to Reddit. They got a Reddit called Fuck You Karen.
Reddit.
Yeah. So, oh, Reddit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
go to Reddit. I'll see what I can't do about finding you a couple of Reddit groups on there to send your way.
Oh,
And they're
nice. Because
real.
same with QAnon. Facebook has deleted all the QAnon groups. So the only way QAnon can speak is they have to create like secret groups. So like you have to know someone to get in. And I don't know anyone in QAnon. None of my friends are QAnon members. So I'm never gonna get invited to these secret Facebook groups. So, but I mean, you got a big audience, so maybe your audience could help me, you know? And
Well, I have
I don't
a
know.
personal little infiltrator out there who's amazing at infiltrating groups, and I can reach out to him and see if he has any connections to it because he's a good dude, man, and he gets all kinds of material. In fact, he sent me a link to all the material he has on Nathan Thompson since pretty much Nathan Thompson got on the internet. And you're right. Earlier when you said that Nathan Thompson opens up with that, or I guess he used to open up with that. Hey guys, I'm Nathan Thompson, and I'm the leader of the largest research group on Facebook. We have over 140,000 members. That used to be his entire like every intro into everything he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he used that as an intro for his own fucking channel. And now it's like, hey guys, I'm Nathan Thompson, and I don't run shit. Like, or I'm the leader of, or the ex-leader of the group that had just lost 144,000 subscriber members or whatever. But and the funny thing is, I used to be a part of that group. That's how I got my start on YouTube, right? So I was in that group, and they're the ones that say, do your own research, do this, do that. And here I am. I go in because I see this meme that it kind of threw me for a loop at first. It was like this spinning tennis ball with the water shooting off of it. And it's like, this is only spinning so fast. If the earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, why aren't all the oceans flying off? And I was like, oh man, that's a pretty good question. I'd never
Well, the
heard of
answer
flat
is
earth.
because of the water droplets on the tennis ball are not scale, right? Isn't that the answer?
That they're what?
They're not to scale.
Well, yeah, that's one of the answers. There's a lot of answers. Like number one, you got to deal with the gravity of the earth underneath you, and then number two, even spinning a tennis ball at only within a rim velocity of about 20.
If the water droplets were as tall as the ocean high, the infinitely small water droplets wouldn't fly off the tennis ball,
Oh, well, that's true
right?
too. Yeah, well, that's true. But well, if you spun it fast enough, it still would. But then again, we're talking about the angular momentum increases
So,
by so much when you make the object smaller. The Earth is so fucking large; it can spin at 1,000 miles per hour. It still takes 24 hours to only go around one time. Where when you spin that tennis ball, it spins like at 200-300 RPMs. It goes like 200-300 times. It revolves or it rotates about 200-300 times in a minute, where it takes 24 hours for the Earth to go around once. So that's like the big thing. And when I got in the group, so I go and I join the group, right? And they're fucking bullshitting. They have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm, as a person who's been in the military, I'm just simply saying, well, what about this? Well, what about that? And I had this one guy who asked me about gyroscopes, and I was explaining to him from my own personal perspective of working on aviation gyroscope modules, that there's self-correcting things on the inside of the gyroscope to account for everything he's saying
oh
it
wow.
should account for. And they were like, lies, lies. That's all I heard. Lies. You're lying. You're just a globehead. You're just a shill. And I'm like, hey, I'm just a fucking new member to this group, guys. Like, I'm not here to fucking troll anybody. I'm just simply asking the same questions that you guys should be asking. And then I was booted. And I go, okay, you know what? If you fuck faces want to fucking keep me out of your group, fine. I'll go answer your questions on YouTube. And sure enough, when I started my own YouTube channel, and for the first 2.5 years, I was focused on flat Earth. It's a good place to go. It's a dumpster fire. There's not a lot of these groups, like the groups you're talking about, right? QAnon, simulation theory people, all those people there. Those are people that are really involved. Like, they truly believe what they're saying. So that's why they're the ultimate person to address, because they're not posed. They're not doing this for entertainment, or they're not doing it for, to get all eyes on them. They're doing it because they believe it. Like, if you listen to Nathan talk about the flat earth, and he'll say, well, according to scripture, the biblical cosmology, he uses terms like that gets you to say, well, hey, I really don't think this guy's bullshitting us. Like, he might not know what the fuck he's talking about, but I don't think he's out there lying to people to get people to like him, or to draw attention to himself, or anything like that. He truly fucking believes it. And that is what makes it so beautiful. That's what makes you do so beautiful when you did it to him, because like you said, you tried to get Mark Sargent, but Mark Sargent, I'm not 100% on that guy. I think he probably does it for the fame. Because, I mean, we've seen him in
You don't
commercials
think
where
he
he's,
actually believes it?
no, not at all. I've met the guy. I met the guy and had like a 10-minute conversation with him. And, I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm not even here to talk about the flat earth. I just want to talk about you and Patricia Steer, which was this other flat earther, the one in the documentary. And she went like
You,
silent after that documentary, a little bit after that documentary, not necessarily right after, but a little bit after. She went completely silent. And so I asked him about the questions. I didn't think he believed in flat earth. So asking him about the flat earth is pointless. I'd rather ask him about the other star of the documentary on Netflix. Ask him about Patricia Steer. Ask him about more
you
personal topics.
you think that he would, because the documentary made it seem like he commits his life to this. So you think he puts in this much work for this little amount of reward and continues
Absolutely.
to keep doing it?
Well, okay, well, hold on. Little reward is kind of subjective, because he's been on English TV, he's been on Australian TV, he's been featured in commercials, flat Earth commercials. I mean, that he gets a lot more out of it than Nathan does. Nathan's a truer believer, but Mark Sargent is really the entertainment face of the flat Earth, and I think that's what he's pot committed at this point. I'm sure he's a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I'm sure, but I know, and this is personal knowledge. there's nothing I can say to back it up, but I know he doesn't fucking believe in the flat earth. From my conversations with him, from seeing some of his videos. Maybe he did at the beginning, but now that it's gone more towards the entertainment factor for him or the entertainment route for him, I don't think that he really believes in the flat earth. I think he's more pot committed so that it keeps him in without, him actually needing to believe. He just knows he needs to keep pushing that flat earth rhetoric so he can keep getting these TV spots and keep getting these interviews, because once they're gone, he's going to be a nobody again. I mean, he's nobody in the other conspiracy belief communities. Like, there's not another community where they go, oh, Mark Sargent, he's that guy that's a flat earther and an anti 5G or QAnon. No, he's just a flat earther. So if he gives up on flat earth, he's got nothing.
That makes sense. I don't know. The Behind the Curve documentary convinced me he's a hardcore flat earther, but I don't know him. I mean, all I know him by is just the flat Earth documentary. So I don't know. Uh, Dude, I don't know. It just seems crazy that you would put that much work in just for like, I don't know, a few TV shows. I don't know.
I mean, they
Sounds
might be paying
crazy,
him pretty
but
good. They might be paying him pretty good. And his flat Earth clues, when he first did his videos, they brought in a lot of views. I mean, some of them have a couple of million views, and
it's funny. Now you're the conspiracy theorist in this.
no, I am
I
though.
don't
I
know.
am.
They're all just conspiracies. We don't know for sure.
Yeah,
But
we don't.
it
And
is interesting to think about. Like what I said also though, like maybe this is your conspiracy. Maybe this is what makes you be. Maybe this is what's exciting for you to believe. And it's exciting to be like, oh, the person I'm against doesn't even believe in it because it makes you feel good.
well, I'm
I
okay
don't
with
know.
that. But I'm okay with that. Like, I recognize my ignorances where I don't think someone like Nathan Thompson really does. Because aside from me believing that Mark Sargent is a Poe or is doing this for money or fame, 100% Nathan Thompson's not. Nathan Thompson
Uh,
probably does
no,
love
Nathan
the
hardcore believes in it. There's a
hardcore,
lot of
hardcore.
people. There's a lot of people that have been commenting on my YouTube videos too. Like Nathan's trolling you guys. Nathan doesn't even believe in flat Earth. He's just doing this for the fame. And I'm like, if he's trolling us, then he's got to be the best troller. I'm going to say exactly what Nathan said about us in episode 5. Nathan says, if these guys are trolling me, this is the greatest troll of all time. I'm going to say the same thing back to Nathan. If Nathan's trolling all of us that he doesn't actually believe in a flat earth, Nathan's pulling the greatest troll of all time. I'm just going to say that
I
too.
mean, he has me
Right back at you,
convinced.
Nathan.
Yeah, he has me 100% convinced. So I'm with you in that boat. If he comes out and been like and says, "Guys, I've been fucking with you the whole time. For 10 years I've been fucking with everybody. I wrote it down in my journal. Look, here it
Congratulations.
is. Yeah, I took a picture of it. Look at the timestamp. It's right here with the newspaper from 10 years ago, just to show you. I'm going to start a flat earth group just to troll the shit out of everybody." Now, if he did that, oh man,
It'd be
that would be
incredible.
something to talk about. That would be something amazing to talk about. Unfortunately, it's not true. Like, he's not trolling us. He believes it, and just from my own personal experiences and the experiences I've seen him have with other people. And we talked about it a little bit too beforehand when I was like, when a flat earther comes out and says, "Well, I'm not a flat earther anymore," they say, "Well, you never were a flat earther." The no true Scotsman fallacy, the no true flat earther fallacy, if you want to call it that. But I just don't think that. I would, man. I would be blown out of my fucking world to find out that he was a goddamn troll and that he's really doesn't believe this shit. It would change my whole fucking outlook on YouTube. I'd say, hey man, I gotta start being a little bit more skeptical of these guys making these fucking crazy ass claims. Because he makes crazy ass claims. He goes out and proselytizes the children. I mean, I don't know. Are you familiar with him getting arrested? Or I think he got arrested for going to a
Yeah, that was
elementary
actually,
school.
and then you got arrested again for it. I heard that was actually one of the things that surprised us about Nathan. So on all these things we do, we always have tests for people. So like when we went into Scientology, we had all these tests of like that would test their morals. Like are they gonna do the moral thing or are they gonna do the immoral thing? And every single time Scientology took the wrong route. Nathan took the wrong route on a lot of the tests we gave him, but on this specific test, he passed. So Nathan gets a lot of rep online for being like kind of like pedophile-ish and stuff, and like he's creepy, and like even me, I was getting a lot of messages, like people were messaging me like in private, like yo, what's it like hanging out with Nathan? Is he like really creepy? And I'm like, I was like, dude, like not really. Like we were expecting him to be like, because I did see that YouTube video of like Red Pill the Youth and stuff. I'm like, dude, this guy
Yeah.
is insane. Like before we met him, and then turns out that it's not because he's creepy in any way. Like he's Nathan's the exact opposite of that. I think he actually truly has a good heart with it. And if Nathan was right, he would kind of be the hero in the story. But like
Yeah.
he's not right, so like it doesn't really matter. But Nathan like truly believes the earth is flat, and he thinks that in we went out and we tried documenting this in episode 4 of like what it truly is like, because I think he does kind of get like a false representation of him in this scenario. So what was happening is we're telling everyone and no one's listening to us, right? Like we're like flat earth and everyone's arguing, like people were like trying to get in fights with Nathan and stuff, and everyone's getting triggered. And so Nathan's like, dude, like all these people have already been brainwashed, because he thinks that when you go to school you're being brainwashed. So he's like, you guys are being brainwashed. And we're like, we got to go tell people that haven't been brainwashed yet, which is the youth, you know? So say the world actually was flat. Like this might be the logical approach to take, you know what I mean? Like to tell people, because if the earth was flat and we know they're going to get brainwashed, we might as well tell them before they get brainwashed. But the sad part is that like it's not flat, and so like it doesn't matter. And like it so from an outsider's point of view, like it looks terrible of what we're doing, of going up to kids and be like, oh, the earth is flat, you know? But Nathan's like made up mind, like we're actually the heroes of the story, you know, like we're the ones
Yeah.
saving the children. And so that's how it actually is in real life. So it's not like Nathan's some evil guy that's like trying to hurt everyone. He's just so far gone that he actually thinks what he's doing is a good thing, you know?
Yeah, and
Which is
I
like
agree
it's
with you on that. He really does. Like in his mind, if you tell him, "Hey man, leave the children alone," and his mind is like, "I can't, because if I leave the children alone, then the school system will continue to teach them the
and
false ways
he like
of
Nathan's.
globe Earth."
That's why I think like everyone is the hero of their own story, and that's kind of one of the like our documentary too is we were trying to be like as accurate as possible. So like most people when they talk about Nathan, they're like, oh, he's creepy, he's like a pedophile, he's like don't let him near kids because he's like a terrible human being. It's like evil and stuff. And like when we actually were hanging out with him, that's not how it was. It turns out he's just brainwashed to believe this, and he actually thinks he's doing a good thing, you know, like he's not out to like hurt anybody, which is like he has a good heart, you know.
Yeah, Gaza the masked reviewer for 4.99, £4.99 says Nathan Thompson was quackers to fall for that. Then when he cracked up or quacked up, put the icing on the cake. Yeah. Schrodinger's cap for $1.99. Good work or great work, Ben. YouTube is beating us all down. And yeah, you and I, we could have it. That's a conspiracy to talk about, Ben. Like the YouTube shadow banning and hiding channels and unsubscribing people and all. That's something you and I could talk about probably for hours, because I've got evidence. I've got actual analytical
Really?
evidence to oh God, yeah. I went from so when they, of course, when they did their latest terms of service and whatnot, they had like they already started, taking channels and bringing them down and shadow banning them before that. But I was getting 3.5 million impressions a month. And it dropped down to about 700,000, I think, is when I went back and looked. After 2 months of having 3.5 million impressions, I then had 700,000 impressions. So they were showing my thumbnail to only 1/5 of the people, 20% of the people that they would normally show thumbnails to, they were only showing it to that many 2 months later. And when you ask yourself, you're like, man, how am I supposed to grow that way? Because you're showing my thumbnails to my subscribers, and I don't, I need you to show my thumbnails to more than just my subscribers. But I understand too, like they don't want false information being put out there, and that's okay. Now, when it comes to the difference between shadow banning somebody for holding, anti-mask rhetoric and policy, I don't think it should ever be held in the same accord as holding flat Earth that way. I'm okay with them putting the little disclaimer at the bottom, but don't hide the channel. Like people need to see yours. People need to see how far gone flat earthers can go when they're trying to find reasons to believe that there's a flat Earth. That the Earth's flat. And there should be no need to hide your channel. Your channel does no harm to the community. Your channel does no harm to the indoctrination system that we have. That obviously YouTube is trying to keep us all indoctrinated, by not showing us channels like yours. I don't think it's right, but I understand why they do it, and I'm in the same boat
Maybe
as
they
you.
think that maybe they think that people watch it and we're promoting flat Earth, and people maybe YouTube thinks like, hey, this documentary is going to convert people to flat earthers, so let's hide it. Like, never know. I don't
But
know.
they shouldn't, though, man. They shouldn't. They should look at your analytics and
Yeah.
see, do you have children watching your video or not? And if you don't, then they shouldn't be hiding it, because adults should be able, a normal adult should be able to watch any singular flat Earth video and go, yeah, that guy's fucking wrong. The Earth's a fucking globe, 100%. Let's see. We have Brainy Beaver for $2 Canadian. That ain't real money, eh? Thanks for the duck suits, Ben. Great times forever. And then we have
Oh, thanks. The
the app.
reptilian overlords. Oh, we're doing that. I already have a guy lined up for that one. Don't you guys worry. That one's gonna be great.
Are you gonna do a suit for? You need to do like some, those blow up Rex suits. You need to do one with like a lizard. Like a King Kong. You need to do like a King Kong blow up suit and run around like that. Oh
That's
yeah.
so funny, dude. You might have just come up with the grand finale of that series, dude. That's hilarious.
I
Oh
can't wait
my
to see it.
gosh.
The Athens 619 for a huge fuck you to end 2020 with. 2020 took Boba Fett from us. That sucks. Let's see. Dark Steve for $5 Aussie. And yes, 2020 sucks. I'm looking forward to 2021. Dark Steve for $5 Aussie says the Four Swordsmen is a new group you all need to watch out for. Not saying sorry for the shameless plug. LOL, love you, team. Oh, definitely go check out the Four Swordsmen then. If Dark Steve's talking about it, it's got to be fucking great. Doctor Who for €2 says, thanks for bringing Ben onto your show, Team Skeptic. No, I'll be honest with you. It did not fucking take much to get him here. Ben, you're a very personable guy and very, like when I
Oh,
sent you the
thanks.
email, you reached back to me pretty quick and we established a better way of communicating. And through that better way, we got you on today. And I can't say how much I truly appreciate it, because I don't mind doing shows on my own, but I want to help introduce people that I find enjoyable, that I find likable on YouTube. I want to expose them to people who might not have the time to just go out and find something new to watch. If somebody tunes into this live stream, there's no way they're not going to check out your channel. There's no fucking way. And once they check out your channel, that's the sub right there. That's done. You have good content.
Well,
It's
thank you
well.
so much.
Yeah, shit. It's my pleasure. I wouldn't just like recommend anybody, but knowing what I see coming from your channel, there's a lot of production value in your channel. There's a lot of funny fucking moments on your channel, and definitely people need to go there and check them out. If you find what you see there enjoyable, fucking subscribe. Do it like you do my channel. So let's see. We have Doctor Who also for €2 says, Ben, you're a fucking genius. Care to elaborate on your
Oh,
IQ?
thank you so much. It's probably not that high. I don't know. I
Well,
was a mechanical engineer. Mechanical engineering is all about you have a problem and you gotta figure it out. So I used what my education taught me in creating content now, I guess.
flat
So I
earthers
had a
can't be
problem I
mechanical
wanted to make.
engineers. They can't be mechanical engineers. They have no education, no critical thinking skills. You present them with a clock that's broken, and you say, "Hey, fix this clock. Figure out what's wrong with this clock." And they look at it and go, "Oh, the Earth's flat. That's the problem. Here you go. You've been taught that the Earth's a globe your entire life. Here's your watch back because the Earth's flat, and that's why it's broken." You're like, okay.
It's
Uh,
funny.
the Athens 619 for $5 says Natalie is the personification of Dunning Kruger. We need to contact David Dunning and Justin Kruger to change the name. Mark is a Poe, and he's doing it just for attention. So they're talking about Mark Sargent there as a Poe, doing it for
Do
attention.
people is that like a thing? Like people believe that he's just doing it for attention. That's crazy.
Oh, he
I
is
don't,
100%.
dude. I don't know. I'm convinced he's a flat earther. But I have nothing to base that on. I don't. I just it just
Now,
seems
okay,
crazy. He's gonna
so
be the ultimate troll, dude.
oh, he is. He's killing it. Hey, his business model, it works because he's on TV. He's on Netflix. You guys reached out to him first, right? You said you reached out to him
Dude,
first.
I
So
guess,
he's the
dude,
face of Flat Earth.
maybe good thing we didn't bring him because if he is trolling all of us this whole time, no way we would have out trolled his troll.
Yeah,
That would
so
have, and
my
that would
in
have
my
made us look
opinion,
like the, I don't know,
well,
what would you say?
I was gonna say, in my opinion, the difference between bringing on Mark Sargent and Nathan Thompson is that Mark Sargent would have gone along with you the entire time. Okay, he would have gone. He
But it
wouldn't have
wouldn't have been
even.
real.
It would not have been real. It would not have been genuine. But with Nathan Thompson, that shit was
It
genuine.
was real.
It was
It was all
genuine.
real, yeah.
There's
A lot of people think
nobody.
Nathan's an actor, especially because in the third episode, I finally had to address it. Like, yo, Nathan Thompson is not an actor. He's really like one of the head faces of Flat Earth. And because in episode 1 and 2, people were like, this is funny, but like, what's the point of it? Because they didn't understand that they thought Nathan was just like one of my friends that's just pretending to be a flat
Oh
earther
no, no,
because it
no.
is like that crazy. Like I think it was like the majority of people that saw the first 2 episodes just thought he was playing along with it, and then episode 3 comes out, and I'm like, "Yo, this is a real life person." And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, like I
But
said to you, I've had two encounters with him in person. One of them was an in person flat Earth debate with Nathan Thompson here in my hometown in Dallas, and I'm telling you now, like I would be able to tell in person if he was putting on an act, doing his keyboard act or his camera act or whatnot. But in person, you can feel the emotion, you can see the emotion, you can see what drives him to make his arguments and his beliefs and his rhetoric in return. Like not there's not a lot of like I think Poes that would walk around and try to use scripture for flat Earth. I think most of them would stay away from scripture, whether they're a Christian or not. I think they would use more mocking scripture versus like scripture that actually gives some validity to their point. And Nathan doesn't. Nathan is genuine. He is 100% biblical cosmology, flat Earth, dome over the head. Like that's him. And that's why you won out. Like I'm glad you didn't get Mark Sargent. I think it would have been a less for people that are flat Earth enthusiasts, like the viewers. Like in this channel, I have a lot of people that started out as flat Earth enthusiasts. Not that they believe flat Earth, but that they enjoyed watching flat Earth videos and flat Earth debunked videos. So if you would have had Mark Sargent on, it would have been a less watched video, at least from my crowd, because they would have immediately been like, maybe the first episode, maybe the second episode. But when it's Nathan Thompson, they know that guy's being fucking real. And because they know that guy's being real, they're not going to be able to wait for episode 5. That's just how it's going to be. It's just like me. I
episode
watched
5
it.
is great.
Well,
I'm
I
so
watched.
excited.
Well, when I watched episode 4, I like I said, I had to go back and watch it because like it's so everything he said in there. Like when he was standing there with the megaphone, what was he saying? Large bodies of water do not curve. Large
It's
bodies
the
of water.
Nathan Thompson saying, dude.
It is the
Dude,
Nathan Thompson
my
saying.
friends and I have all started saying that to each other. Every time we like see each other like leave, we're always just like, large bodies of water do not curve. Okay, so it's like our like my friends and I have all started saying it, dude. It's because that was the saying of the weekend, dude. It came up all the time. It was great.
Yeah,
It was so
and
funny.
and the fact that he's willing to put his mouth behind a megaphone and scream it out for everyone to hear. Now, I did see that in episode 4, and I don't want to ruin too much, but there was somebody from the outside that was trying to be confrontational with Nathan. Did you get a lot of that, or was it just like some one-time
Kinda.
random guy?
So me and Blake were still kind of in the phase of like, dude, this guy thinks that we're trolling him because like in me like when that was directly after me and Blake explained ourselves. So me and Blake were kind of like, well, let's not push it because we don't want this guy to like catch us, so we had to kind of like be a little bit mellow. So we weren't able to push it as much as like we'd like to push it, but in that specific scene. And then after that, we like bought his trust again, and then we were able to push it like crazy for episode 5. But in that certain scenario, like, yeah, all me and Blake were thinking of is just like, dude, like we can't blow our cover, we can't blow our cover. So we were just literally just following Nathan. As you watch, like me and Blake do pretty much nothing. We just, yeah, we give Nathan a megaphone. We're like, just show us what to do, Nathan, like, because we thought that was the best way to like not blow our covers. Like, you show us what to do, we'll follow you, you take the lead. And yeah.
So you're the ones responsible for giving him the megaphone, huh?
Yeah, I saw the Flat Earth documentary, the Behind the Curve, of Nathan going up to people. Like, he goes up to the guy in a car, he's like, the earth is flat, and he's like kind of just going up to people. It's really mellow, and I'm like, it's kind of like, this is cool, but I feel like if he had a megaphone, he would get his point across a lot better, So we're like, let's just get him a megaphone. We can do the exact same thing he does in Behind the Curve, but just be way more annoying with it,
Yeah. No, and there was something else that he always says, and I was thinking about it, and then the whole like, oh yeah, the megaphone thing. I had to remember that, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious that you guys gave him the megaphone.
No, that was definitely us. Yeah.
So okay, so we have the J.L. Warren for $4.99 says, easy to do when the subject is unemployed and homeless. I don't think he's technically homeless. Unemployed would be probably the more accurate term. I think he grifts a lot on.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah, but you do a YouTube channel. I'm unemployed by that matter. I mean, this is my full-time job.
Yeah, I guess YouTube employs me. I make money from YouTube, but that's it. Yeah.
How many subscribers do you have? Like 89,000 or something like that, right?
No, it's less. I don't know. It was like 70 something last time I checked.
Maybe it's 79,000. I got your channel, I think, pulled up right here.
It is small but slowly growing.
Yeah, 79,000. Shit, you're over double of me, so hell yeah, that's badass. All right, let's get back to reading the super chats real quick. We also have $2 from Josiah Hansen, and I need to take a moment to say a special thank you to Mr. Josiah Hansen. Today, me and Josiah had a chance to meet up. He's not from Dallas. He just happened to be in the area. He said, hey, let's get together and let's do something fun. We went out to the Perot Science Museum and had a fucking blast. Josiah's a good dude, man, and I really, really appreciate the time you put in to meeting me down there, because he had to drive. When he says he's close to Dallas, he wasn't necessarily like right down the street from Dallas. He was almost an hour and a half away. And he still drove all the way up here to go with me to a science museum. And we fucking nerded out the entire time. It was fucking great. Josiah, I can't tell you thank you enough. And next time you're in town, bud, you just let me know, and we'll definitely do it again, 100%. I still need to go eat some Brazilian, to take you to a Brazilian steakhouse so we can eat all you can eat meat. Let's see. B-Ball for life. Good to see. Hey, are you familiar with Brazilian steakhouses?
No.
Oh, man. You ever find yourself in Dallas, hit me up. We'll go there and eat fucking all you can eat meat. It's fucking amazing. B-Ball for life for $5. This was one of the absolute greatest trolls of Flat Earth of all time. And like I said, I put that up there with like, I think it was Jake Paul. Jake Paul had a pretty good, it was either Jake Paul or Logan Paul. Logan Paul. He had a pretty good troll. Yeah, no one likes Jake, right? No, he had actually a pretty good troll of the Flat Earth as well. Because
dude, that
the
was
other
the
guy.
First. So I really, really disliked Logan Paul, especially with the whole Suicide Force thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Logan Paul puts out the Flat Earth documentary, and I was like, dude, I really dislike Logan Paul, but I love this. And I was like, dude, this is so sick. And then I don't know, after that, Logan just, like, I actually semi-enjoy Logan Paul's content now. Like, I don't know, like, that was the documentary that turned me around for Logan. But
if they fight Conor McGregor, who's gonna win?
I don't know. I don't follow him that hard. I didn't even know he was gonna fight Conor McGregor. Probably Conor McGregor, I guess, because he's like more experienced. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in the world of boxing at all. Maybe Logan, maybe Conor, 50-50 in my opinion. I'm out of the loop on that.
Yeah, they're challenging
dude, I have
him
a question
right now.
for you though, dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Dude, I have a question for you. So when you first found out about the Harvard students prove that the Earth is flat. Did you find out about it before Nathan? Like, well, Nathan was still in California. Is when you heard
You
about it,
know
or
where I found okay, so I found out about it when he live streamed from the hotel room. So there were people that were messaging me on Discord, hey, come check this out, man. Nathan's getting trolled big time. There were a lot of people here that
oh,
already knew that you guys were trolling him, and there were people who were already familiar with your channel. So they were like, yeah, his name's Reckless Ben, he's trolling him. But we are, as a community, we would keep that shit tight because we don't want the show to end. Nathan Thompson's a fucking walking meme. So to see you guys doing it, like everybody's like, yeah, let them do their thing, don't fucking ruin it for everybody. But that's when I
yeah, I
found
appreciate
out.
that so much.
Yeah, well, we got a
There was
really
a
good group
couple
of viewers.
Globers that there was a couple Globers that were like, "You're being trolled," like, and they're like, especially what the beginning of episode 4, end of episode 3, like I was like, me and Blake are just sitting in our room, like listening to their Discord, and we're like no, like how can the Globe Earthers not get the joke? Like obviously the world is like a sphere. Like you don't have to like prove this to them, just go along with it, you know. But I feel like some of the Globers felt like kind of betrayed that we proved it's like flat, and they're like, "Oh no, like Nathan has a step on us now. We have to push Nathan down as hard as we can." And they were like being as attackative of Nathan as like possible. We're
Well,
like,
there's
"No,
some of
like
these people
just
that
go along
really
with
take
it."
it. Yeah, there's some of these people that have not really grasped the fact that flat Earth is a joke. Like it might not be a joke to a flat earther, but if you're a globe earther or if you're a debunker, it's a
And it was
fucking joke. Just take it as a
and our
joke and
experiment was
laugh.
triggering all of them. It's like, how are you getting like how are you getting triggered by this experiment? This experiment is bogus. Just laugh at the experiment and don't say anything to Nathan. But like people were getting hard. They'd be like, I'm not triggered, but like deep down, like some of the globe earthers were triggered by this
Oh yeah.
experiment, and they had to show Nathan how triggered they were. And I mean, in the end, it makes good content for us, but in the moment, we were freaking out. We're like, "Gosh, dang
No,
it!" It
that
was
but
so
see,
frustrating.
that's the thing, like what they were inadvertently doing was building him up, building up that like concrete house that he was building around that idea that you guys were actually
Hmm.
fucking Harvard students. So it really helped
Yeah.
y'all out in the long run to have all these Globers come
Oh,
on and
I
say,
know. I'm
"Oh yeah,
thankful it
yeah, yeah."
happened now. Just
But
in
but
the
you're
moment, it
right.
sucked. But no, I'm totally thankful it happened now. Like looking back on it, I'm like, dude, we got killer content from this. Like you're right, it makes Nathan more defensive, so we get better content from Nathan now. We get content from like how hard they were shoving it in Nathan's face, and he still says no. So in the end, it makes for great content. But just in the moment, we were like it's scary in the moment. You're like, dude, these guys are gonna ruin it for us. Like we have this whole plan, and they're gonna ruin everything. But like I guess when you can overcome that and when it still ends up working out, it just makes it that much more impressive, I guess. But dude,
So
I don't
okay.
know.
Let me ask you something though, because I this right here was the ultimately funny part. Like, okay, the duck suit, fine. Nathan probably saw some kind of trolling going on with the duck suit, at least to some extent. Any normal human being would absolutely look and go, "That's ridiculous." But you
No,
guys,
he thought that those were the only suits we could get. I heard him saying in an interview afterwards, he's
fucking
like, I
duck
genuinely believe
suits.
the duck suit. But we were convincing
Oh
with
my
it. Like we
god.
said, we tried getting the hazmat suits. Like we have Harvard has proper hazmat suits because of COVID. They got delayed, and we found these duck suits at Party City with the same type of material. And everyone was on board. And he's like, well, if all the people are on board, like there has to be some legitimacy to it, you know.
Oh my god.
So we just did the whole bandwagon effect on him, and I think it worked. I don't
Well,
know,
who
but
came up
what
with
were
the
you gonna
idea
say?
of who came up with the idea about using a magnet? Because that's hilarious to me.
Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Yeah.
So I watched Behind the Curve. The other little bit of research I did was I watched him. I actually don't really like Mr. Beast because I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that he gets a bunch of views, and I feel like I make better content than him, but he still is making. I don't know, but who cares? I don't care about any of that. So I did see a Mr. Beast video. He's making fun of flat Earth. He's like, dude, we're gonna prove it's flat, but he uses a magnet about this big, you know? And he's like, okay. And he actually sends someone to the other side of the world. And then they're like, okay, let's measure the magnetic connection. But they're just like little like $2 magnets. And he's like, I don't feel it. The Earth has to be flat because we can't measure the connection, you know? And I was like, that's funny. Like that's actually like it actually kind of made me giggle a little. I was like, that's actually kind of funny, you know? Like it was obviously a skit, like a sketch. And so like I forgot about it in like 2 minutes. But then I was like, what if this was actually done in real life? Like, could you actually do this experiment on a flat earther? I was like, well, obviously you couldn't do it like this. You'd have to make it a little bit more legit, but probably not much. So I was like, what if we could actually get a flat earther to believe this stupid experiment that Mr. Beast did? And so we were like, okay, let's make a magnet that's just a little bit more impressive. So I went to the thrift store, bought a $20 VCR cassette tape, tore it up, took out like the part where you put in the tape, so it's just like the CPU boards, and then we just put an iron rod into the ground. And I was a mechanical engineer, so I know a little bit. Like I studied magnets a little bit, so I could like bull crap my way through like talking about magnets. And I feel like when flat earthers talk, a lot of the times they just use really big vocabulary words, and they don't necessarily have to be like factually correct when they're talking, but when they say big things and they say it with confidence, it makes it seem true.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if this works in the flat earthers, like we might as well just keep going with it, you know? So I just used a bunch of vocabulary that I remember in like my mechanical engineering classes, just used them in ways that make no sense together. Like, I was like talking about like the molecules of iron and how like they create these crystal lattice like structures where all the electrons are shared through our conductors and semiconductors, and just things that make no sense. And then when I said it with confidence, they're all big words that flew over Nathan's head, so he had to believe it. And when all the puzzle pieces come together, it equals out, and Nathan believing our story, I guess, and it ended up working.
Yeah, so I guess in today's video that you put out, he said something about his producer being shocked. What was that all about? How did that happen?
So that was genius. That was actually not a part of the script I wrote. So our fake director, he was the guy who was playing our director. I even got him a hat that said director on it, just in case Nathan was like skeptical of him actually being a real director or not. It said on the hat, so Nathan knew. However, he had a taser gun. Or we brought a taser because one of the first jokes we used is Blake was an electrical engineer. She's like, I'm an electrical engineer, and he like does a taser. It was like the stupidest joke, but so that we had a taser on us. And our fake director, he's actually a magician in real life. Like he's that's how he makes his money. He's like a professional magician. So he's good at all the sleight of hand and stuff. And he's always thinking of crazy ways to trick people that like is like maybe a sleight of hand movement that'll like fool someone into believing something. So he's like, dude, what if we can like, if I can sleight of hand this taser, I'll go up, like I'm pretending to touch the magnet, I'll tase it and then like put it down my duck sleeve. And like, if I do it at the right angle, he'll think I got shocked. I'm like, dude, if you can pull it off, I'm down, dude. And he told me that while Nathan was being interviewed. And then like 2 minutes later we do it. So that was like a total on the spot improvised thing that
was probably a selling point. That's probably a selling point for Nathan. Like seriously, like once he saw that, he was probably like, okay, yeah, this might be real. You know, there's more.
And we were talking about that the whole weekend. We were talking about that the whole weekend too, of like, dude, like, thank God he like actually did the electrical taser thing, because dude, it was a selling point, dude, and it made it so much more believable. Like, I'm so thankful that David decided to do that, like super last minute. He was like, hey, can I do this? I'm like, yeah, and then we just did it.
Now, I know when you put videos together, and like especially when they're series together, there's a lot of editing that goes on. There's a lot of like
it's
like
chaotic,
creative,
dude.
yeah. So are your episodes pretty much in order of timeline as to how the things played out, or does it jump up and back and forth in real time when watching your videos 1 through 4?
No, it's in complete real time. So the first day is episodes 1 through 3. So we did the toilet paper experiment was the first thing we did. And the reason we actually did that first was because there's a lot of videos online of Nathan saying like, just because they're from Harvard doesn't mean they're smart. Because just like I was talking about, like with the kids, he thinks that school is brainwashing, you know? So in Nathan's like made up reality of point of view, he thinks that because we're this educated, we must be this brainwashed, you know? So the more educated you are, the more brainwashed you are, if that makes sense. Yeah. So since this documentary is from the flat earther's point of view, we had to come up with like the stupidest experiment to kind of gain his trust in that we're the stupid Harvard students, you know? Because that's how a flat earther would think of Harvard students, is that they're stupid. So we're like, okay, let's build a tower to the moon, you know, and like try and take a picture of the earth that way by folding toilet paper. And that was the,
Dude,
the
that was
stupidest.
fucking
I actually
hilarious.
saw like a little TikTok or something that was like, if you fold a piece of paper 20 times, it would reach outer space or something. I'm like, well, what if we had like a mile long piece of toilet paper? We could probably fold that 20 times. Like maybe like obviously we can't, but maybe we could convince a flat earther. And like, obviously we didn't convince Nathan. He knew the whole time that we were never going to reach outer space. But it was just like, it was still funny to see his reaction to it. And then the important thing, though, was even though we didn't convince him that we could go to outer space, even though he knew from the beginning, it still built our credibility as like, he's like, like, I feel like a normal person would be like, yo, Harvard students would never do this. But with Nathan, he's like, Harvard students are dumb. And so they would be doing this, you know? So it kind of gets to, it does show that part. But,
Oh my
um,
God, that's hilarious.
but besides that, yeah, that was kind of what the first episode was about. Was just like I just thought it was funny to like bring like a flat Earth leader to California just to like waste his time folding toilet paper. I just thought that was a funny concept.
Oh
And then
yeah.
yeah, then episode two, then we did the magnet after that. So it's like once we build our credibility as stupid Harvard students, now he thinks that we're just so stupid. Obviously, because I wanted him to go into the magnet experiment thinking that's the stupidest experiment, you know? So he's like, okay, obviously this magnet experiment is going to be just as stupid as the toilet paper experiment. So he's like bashing on, he's like, this is stupid. And then the toilet paper or the magnet experiment now agrees with Nathan's point of view. And so now nothing changed about the experiment, but Nathan's like, this is a credible experiment. And he starts going off of this is solid flat earth proof. Even though at the beginning he didn't think it was a credible experiment, but now it's credible because it agrees with him. So it's like we got the I don't know. It was all every piece of the puzzle is important, I guess. But that's how at least my train of thought going into it of how to create like the perfect series of like to showcasing how flat earthers think, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing is he'll go like, you guys are dumb as shit. You guys are you Harvard students are dumb as shit, and then you show him that the magnet you do detect it, but not from the bottom, from the side, and he's like, oh wow, these guys know exactly what they're talking about. They're Harvard students, you know, like all of the
Mm-hmm.
sudden because you've given him something to that you know confirms his belief system. Now you're the fucking smartest person in the world. Now that's somebody that
Yeah.
has a degree that actually can show that the Earth is flat, which is very contradicting on his behalf. But you know what can you expect
On
from
all
him?
of the flat earthers behalf, I think, because they always claim like test it yourself and stuff. Like you don't like they claim that they're the true science. Like, yeah, we're gonna take the evidence and then base off the evidence, we're gonna see what we believe. But I feel like that's how actual science works, you know? And and then the flat earthers, I mean they talk about this in the behind the curve where they start at the conclusion and then they cherry pick evidence that agrees with them. So this is kind of just like in the behind the curve, they didn't actually get to show proof of then like cherry picking the evidence to agree with them. So I was like, what if we can somehow be like, okay, here's the evidence. Like, do you agree with it? It doesn't point to your belief. No. Now it does point to your belief. Do you agree with it now? Yes. And so that's all we were trying to do, I guess, was just show that.
When it
Yeah,
comes to your time with Nathan, like I'm sure you caught there were times when you didn't catch things on camera. What was the funniest, craziest moment with Nathan that you didn't catch on
oh,
camera that you'll never that will only get the reckless spin interpretation of?
there was there was a couple parts. We tried actually keeping a camera on him at all times. So from the moment he walked out of his hotel, like we even had a camera on him, like the whole drive up to the prank, we had a camera rolling on him the entire drive. I'm gonna release some of that later. I'm gonna do a whole thing after the documentary of like how we pulled everything off, and it's gonna be like kind of like the in-depth detail of how we were able to actually do everything and like kind of like you see it from our point of view instead of Nathan's point of view. It's kind of the same documentary just from our point of view,
Yeah.
and we'll get to show like all that footage and stuff. But um, there was this one scene in episode five where we got kicked out of a bar that we didn't get. That would have been really cool. And then Nathan started going off on people. We didn't really get good footage of that. There was one scene also in episode five where we go to a flat Earth meetup. It's all in episode five is where because episode five. It was like the third day of filming, and so my whole crew was kind of tired and stuff. They're like, "Oh, we have to do a whole other day of filming." I'm like, "Yeah." So we only had one filmer pretty much for all of day five, or sorry, the fifth episode. But there was another scene where we're at the flat Earth meetup, and this guy walks up to me and Blake, and he's like, because we're just in a public park, and this guy's like, "Yo, what's going on over here?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're here for a flat Earth meetup." And the guy's like, "So, like, you believe the Earth is flat? Like, that's stupid." And we're he's like trying to base like this can't be a flat Earth. And we're like, "Yeah, well, we're like kind of new to it and stuff." And then I end up leaving because I'm like uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm like, I don't want to talk to this guy. Like this guy's gonna like blow my cover or something, you know? And then Blake is almost turns to him because we were in character for like 3 straight days. Blake almost went. He told me after he's like, I almost went to him and was just like, like I'm just kidding. Like this is a whole prank. Like don't tell anyone. Like because the guy's like openly like debating us and we don't know anything about flat Earth. So we're like, dude, this guy's gonna like make us like he's gonna cause a scene. And we're like, and so Blake's almost like stop it. Like we're just pranking all these guys. But turns out right before Blake had a chance to say that, another guy calls over to him. Was like, hey, did you get the email? And he's like, oh no. So it turns out he was a flat earther trying to prank, like trying to investigate us to see
Oh
if we would
man.
crack in front of him. And we didn't get footage of any of it, but that was the part where I was like, dude, if we could get footage of that, that would have been of like the flat earthers trying to like pretend like they're not flat earthers to trick people that pretend like they're flat earthers. Like it was like it's like Inception. There's just like there was so many layers to it, you know, like because we were pretending to be round earthers or we were pretending to be flat earthers, so he's pretending to be a round. Like we're just doing this exact same thing to each other. It was really funny.
Now
But
I
if
don't
we could have
remember.
gotten that on camera, that would have been the best.
I don't remember what his exact wording was, but he had a post on Facebook where he was like, yeah, finally making the big time. Because I guess y'all had sent him a message talking about we're sending a driver to come pick you up. And he was bragging about it on I'm sure it was either Facebook or somewhere where he was like, he screenshotted that. Maybe it was Twitter. He screenshotted it and then posted it. And he was like, yeah, finally making the big time, guys. And I was just like, oh my God.
Dude, that
They're
was the whole
trolling you.
the whole point. We try to make him feel as special as possible. You know, like yeah, we gave him his driver, and immediately he walks out of the hotel, and we have a camera on him, a personal driver. We get there, and like like the entire time was just to make him feel like a celebrity. That way, he had full trust in what we were doing because it's like, oh well, if these guys respect me this much, I might as well do what they say. Like you know. So that was the whole point of the whole weekend. It was like the first impression. He had to feel like a celebrity. You know, like we made him feel like as special as possible the entire time.
Yeah, which if when he talks to normal people, I'm sure he doesn't get that kind of respect. So for any just a little amount of respect, little amount of like blowing his ego up is gonna go a long fucking way with Nathan Thompson. So I thought it was beautiful that y'all sent a driver, and he was like, "Oh man, like I'm making it. I'm in the big time now." And yeah, no, you're just the number one troll in flat Earth now. Like everybody's laughing at you. Both sides are laughing at him. The flat Earth is like, how could you have let yourself be fooled this much? All that do your own research, all that, look into stuff and do these experiments yourself, and you just believe these guys, And then the globe earthers are like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot, and you've been exposed as an idiot. We all knew that, but thanks for doing it again for all of our entertainment. Which
Mm-hmm.
it was extremely entertaining. I'm telling you, the reason why I stopped really like debating the flat earthers is there's just too many posts out there. There's too many people that don't really believe it. They'd rather get that five
Really?
minutes. Oh yeah, they'd rather get 5 minutes of your time and attention in a debate than to stand up for something that they truly believe in. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, I can't
Dang,
do this
dude.
anymore with these guys. When it comes to like people like Nathan Thompson or a few other ones that are genuine, that's the fucking type of shit you want to see. You want to see somebody that's really believes in that shit and have him just mocked for his such stupid and incorrect beliefs. Because flat Earth's stupid, man. Like, it's the dumbest shit in the world. There's no proof or evidence that would ever support a flat Earth because we don't live on a fucking flat
Large bodies
Earth.
of water don't curve.
Yeah, well, my bad. I forgot about that one. Large bodies of water do not curve. They also say that even if it was curved, you could not get like a good reflection off of the water because it's curved. Like mirrors aren't curved or something. And you're like, that's you. It's curved over like a radius of 4,000 miles. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking about. It's probably as flat as your mirror is in your bathroom. When you look out at like a frozen lake or something, it's probably pretty goddamn close to being as flat as your mirror in your bathroom. But that doesn't mean shit because we're talking about this curve is over fucking 4,000 mile radius. So you're gonna have curve, but you're not gonna see it. Not like
Yeah.
when you and I are as big as fucking ants on a fucking
Like on a
basketball.
parabola, you study it in calculus. You have a parabola, it comes
Yep.
down, like say right here's the line, and it'll never ever reach that line. But I mean, it's still it's just it like eventually it almost becomes parallel. It's not parallel, but it's so small of a number to the human eye you can't tell, you know. And you study it in calculus, and you can calculate those numbers, even though it's super small. The human eye can't see it; it's still calculatable, and you learn that in calculus, I guess. But I don't
These
know.
guys have
Maybe
to get
just,
to they have to get to calculus first. I mean, they got to pass
maybe that's the next.
algebra.
Maybe that's the next video, teaching calculus to a flat earther.
Oh
I
God,
can
good
teach
luck with
calculus.
that.
That was my major. I'm a mechanical engineer. I know calculus pretty well. I can
That's
teach
cool.
that.
That's hell yeah. That's fucking badass. On just off topic, yeah, calculus is one of my like nerd subjects that I like to
Hey, you're a
go
math
and.
major, dude. You could maybe do it better than me.
Well, I mean, I didn't graduate as a math major. I started to take classes for 2 years
Oh,
at
nice.
college, and did take some upper level math, but that was 20 years ago. You know, like you look like a young guy. I'm an old fuck up here. I'm goddamn team boomer, you know, or the boomer skeptic, I guess, if you guys want to call me that. But and my chat loves to fucking troll me, so they tell me that I don't interact with light because I'm so goddamn skinny. And the fact of the matter is I'm twice as thick as Nathan Thompson. I might look skinny, but I'm twice that dude's skin and bones. At least he was when I saw him. I don't know how he looked when you saw him, but when I saw
Look
him,
normal.
he looked normal.
I
So he's
can't talk.
eating
I'm
again.
skinny too. I'm super underweight. I used to be a cross country runner, so I'm super. I'm probably just as skinny as Nathan if that's true. I don't know.
Well,
I
when
definitely can't talk in that.
when I saw him at the Flat Earth conference, he looked like he hadn't eaten in fucking weeks, and like he really thought I was about to just wail on him because he had talked so much shit about me, and he was like, "When I see you in person, I'm gonna twist you up." That didn't happen. He saw me in person and just like turned his shoulder
I think
to
he
me
meant
and
with his
tried to
words.
walk
He'll twist
away.
you up with his words.
Yeah, that didn't happen either. He was too scared to fucking talk to me. But I did
Dang.
like I patted him on the ribs, like right here, like I was like, hey, I was like, what's up, Nate? And I patted him, and I was like, wow, it feels like a fucking xylophone. It feels like a
Dude,
goddamn.
Nathan told us that he did this. I don't think I didn't show it because it wasn't like it. I think our audio was kind of messed up when he said this part. It was really funny if we would have gotten the audio for it, but he had us feel this like tendon like right here, and it was like, I'm not gonna lie, it felt like a piece of metal. He was like, I do this type of training that maybe doesn't give me the biggest muscle, but it strengthens your tendons. And he was telling us like if professional athletes did the same training I do, they'd have like 10 more years of like being able to like play in their sports. And I was like, yeah, right. But then I feel his like freaking tendon right there. It felt like a piece of metal, dude. It was crazy. So I don't know if what any of that was like. It didn't seem legit when he was saying it, but then I felt it, and I was like, dude, maybe this is legit. Like, dude, I don't know, but either that or Nathan's a robot, dude. Like he has or maybe he got surgery where they just took out this tendon and put a piece of metal in there. I don't know. It's crazy, but maybe I
did
don't know.
did he not
I
bounce
can
the
only
ball on the sledgehammer for you and recite glow proofs?
no. That would have been cool.
Yeah, if you'd have caught that
No,
on video
I
camera,
saw that
that'd have been
behind the
fucking
curtain.
cool.
I
Uh,
think it's kind of cool though. Like I don't know. It's kind of like juggling. You know, I like juggling. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know. They do say that people that learn how to juggle, it actually does kind of strength. Like there is some legitimacy to everything Nathan says with this training. Like like learning how to play piano actually helps your brain, and they say that it actually kind of makes you better with decision making. Like when you're older in life, you know. Same
yeah.
with juggling. They say people that juggle, it does strengthen your brain in some aspects where it does make you like smarter and you can think about things a little bit better from like at least what I've read. But like that's actually what mainstream science says about like juggling and playing piano. So there probably is some truth to all of that. I don't know if it goes as far as what Nathan says, where like, yeah, if you write with both hands, that it makes you an inch taller because if your brain gets bigger, your whole body gets bigger. I don't believe that, but I
Oh
think
God.
everything he does says is like based in a little teeny tiny bit of truth, you know?
Yeah, yeah, he said that before, for sure. That ever since he started his brain training, he's grown several inches in height. Which I'm like, what? Like, no
I
fucking
mean, I
way,
can't.
dude.
It sounds crazy. I wouldn't completely dismiss it because I don't know that it's wrong, but you're
Yeah,
right. It does sound crazy.
yeah, that
But
does sound fucking
it
crazy.
sounds crazy. Maybe we're crazy. Maybe it's actually true and we're the crazy one. Like I haven't researched it, so I don't know. I can't talk on it, but it does definitely sound crazy. Who knows? I mean, maybe it's true. I mean, I'd have to research it first, but He said a lot of things that just sounded crazy. It's like, I mean, I kind of want to like laugh at it, but like I don't know if I can because I don't know. I mean, it probably is
What's one
crazy,
thing that
but
he said that you would believe, that you'd be tempted to believe? I'm not going to say that you'd believe just offhand, but be tempted to look into more and believe.
I agree with him a lot on veganism. He's vegan, which is crazy too. Like that's one of the crazy things. Also, is he's like, "Yo, like he's a Christian." Like you don't really meet many vegan Christians because in the Bible, at least I was kind of raised Christian when I was younger, and it says that uh, that humans are like God made humans on top, and all the other animals God made as like food for us. At least that's what I was taught as a Christian when I was younger. And so you don't really meet many vegan Christians because Christians most of the time believe that we're better than animals. And but then he smokes weed and drinks, and you don't meet a lot of Christians that smoke weed or drink. But then he also believes in a flat earth. But then he also believes that so he's like all the way on this side, like where it's like crazy. But then he's all the way on this side on other topics. And it's like it's crazy to meet someone like that. And that's like part of the reason we brought him out too, is because like he's like one of those interesting guys I've ever met in my like he's there's so many things about him that it's like, why? You know? It's like crazy. But like there was a lot that I actually did agree with him when he was talking a lot about it on the car ride up to the prank of like being vegan and stuff and like how like messed up the meat industry is and like you can actually look into it and like the meat industry actually like he's right or he's correct on a lot of his claims about the meat industry and how like bad it is and how like eating vegan can be healthier. So some of that stuff I actually did end up agreeing with him on. Is like
Did he
I've
offer
actually looked
you a
into
honey
this.
mead?
You're
Did
right.
he offer you one of his honey meads?
He offered us vegan beef jerky, and my roommate Michael, who's pretending to be his producer, loved them and like ate the whole bag. Which
Well,
I was like,
there were
gosh
people
dang,
that were there were people pointing out that that he drinks honey mead, which is has honey
I
in
don't know what
it,
that
which is
is.
a bee product, a honey beer. It's like a mead,
So
M-A-E-A-D.
honey, I have a lot of friends that are vegan because I live in California. So vegan is actually a huge thing out here. I'm not vegan. I tried to do it, and then it was like really expensive for me. That's probably the main reason I don't do vegan is just because it's really expensive. But besides that, I do agree with the health benefits it gives, and they have vegan bodybuilders, so you can get ripped off of it. But I mean, genuinely, most people are skinny, but it's not. You don't have to be skinny and be vegan. But but the thing though is, like half of my friends that are vegan eat honey, the other half don't. So it's like a 50-50 thing. So the vegans that do it for health reasons eat honey because like at the end of the day, like it comes from plants, you know what I mean? But the people that do it for animal rights reasons don't eat honey because it's not friendly what they do to the bees, I
Well,
guess. But
yeah,
if you're
it
just
doesn't
doing it
really
for
come from
strictly
a
like,
plant. I thought honey was a direct product. It was a direct product from animals.
I thought it was the bees. From my knowledge, I could be totally wrong. I thought they got the pollen, they eat the pollen, and they throw it up. So it's like bee vomit, is
Oh,
what I
okay.
heard.
Yeah, I don't know it. I'm in the same boat as you. Like I'm completely ignorant to it, so I
But
would have
from a
no
nutritional,
idea.
but if you're vegan purely for the nutritional standpoint, those people will eat honey, from what I've heard at least.
Yeah.
Because from a nutritional standpoint, it has the same nutrition that vegan foods have, at least from what I've heard. If you're doing it for animal rights reasons, yeah, they're super cruel to the bees, but also they're bugs. Like who cares, you know? But I don't know. But also bees are the reason we're still alive. And I've
Yeah,
seen that
for real.
Black Mirror episode where the bees go away and we're all in jeopardy. So who knows? I mean, I also can't speak on that subject. That's just from what I've heard from my vegan friends. I'm just relaying information for what they've told
Yeah,
me. But
and like
I don't know.
I'm completely ignorant, so I wouldn't be able to answer it. I just know that I've seen people in the chat say before, "Oh, Nathan Thompson's not a true vegan because he does ingest honey and that's a bee product." But again,
Those people are probably just finding more reasons to hate Nathan. Would be my guess
it's a
because
there's a
there's a
lot of them
lot
out
a
there.
lot of my vegan friends eat a lot of my vegan friends eat honey and nobody gives them any hate for it. So if you're giving Nathan hate, there's way more things that they should.
Oh yeah.
That's a low ball
No,
on
yeah,
Nathan.
yeah, I think they're just being people are being pedantic to have fun poking at Nathan, which is I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. But Josiah Hans, I never read his super chat for $2 says how conspiracy theorists think and duck suits mesh A plus. Yeah, for anybody out there who has
Oh,
not
thank you.
watched Reckless Ben's videos, Go out there and watch them. Episodes 1 through 4 are up now. Episode 5 on Thursday. So you got plenty of watching to do before you get to before we get to episode 5. B-ball for life, my dude. $5. This is one of the absolute greatest trolls of flat Earth all time, and I can't express my sentiment enough to say that I loved it. You know, I love that it came from, like, okay, Logan Paul, or, you know, whatever. Him and the Netflix, they had to have a budget for their films. You guys did it as people, you know. Y'all were just normal people doing that, and there's a lot to be said about that. I think that it allows the troll to be more personable. Like, we were kind of talking about this before the show started, where, you know, whereas like Logan Paul and all them, they have all these additional cutscenes, and they're all using, you know, Sony Red cams, and they probably have, you know, millions of dollars that went into that. And I'm sure he did have millions of dollars, or at least hundreds of thousands of dollars that he put into that troll. And then, of course, the Netflix one, obviously, they probably had a full professional production crew. It's kind of hard for me as a viewer to really get into those, to put myself in their shoes. But with you, you're more of a normal person like me. You're more of a normal person like the people watching this show right now. And I think that is what makes your troll the best troll yet. Hands down, best troll
thank
yet.
you.
I
We had a
control them
crew,
all day
but they
long,
were all
but you
fake.
rock. What's that?
Yeah, so we had a whole crew, but they were all just my friends, and they were all fake. So like it was like a fake director. Like it was like the morning of, I would like call him and be like, "Yo, you're gonna be this guy's personal driver. Like, just do whatever he wants. Just suck up to him. Yeah, that's your job. Okay, you as the director, just pretend like you're in charge. If you see someone like slacking off, just like start yelling at them." And I'm like, okay, you're a timekeeper. So like, here's like a rough schedule of what we're doing. Like, if we get even if we're not behind schedule, just always act stressed like we're behind. Like, even if we're not behind, just pretend like we're always behind. And I'd go up to like, okay, you're the fake DP. So like, just yell at the camera. Just always tell them that it's not the correct angle, and that you always want a better, even if it's the perfect angle. Just say like, this is not the right angle, you know? So
Yeah.
everything that was happening like in our production was like, it probably was all running smoothly, but we tried to make it seem as chaotic as possible. So it was like an actual TV set, you know, and like, oh, we're behind. That's a terrible angle. Get a better angle of this, you know? And like that way it made us all seem like we knew what we were talking about, but nobody knew what they were doing. Like, I don't know. Like, we probably
Next
broke
time,
the 180 rule.
whenever you do like an interview with somebody and you're trying to troll them and you want to have a director acting real, you always got to like have him stop, like be like, stop, he's out of the light again. Get back in the light. Get back in the light, you know, like so it makes it look like the director's really just being a dick and trying to get the best shot possible. No, hey, everybody stop. You're out of the light again, sir. Please get back in the light, you know. But they'll say we have Bella Charge for $5 New Zealand dollars. He says, "Hey, Skep bitch, you can start now. I'm here running." Bella, we start without you, bro. Dib for $5 says, "Step away from the children, Nathan." Now that's something I agree and you know, I agree with you that, and I used to say that he was predatory in nature, but I understand now that there's a certain it implies
I
a
think it's just
certain
he's
thing.
brainwashed, dude. It's like
Yeah.
Scientology. Like they believe what, like, the Scientologists believe that what they're doing is actually good. Like, by taking these people in and doing these brainwashing classes that Scientology has them do, they think that instead of, they're not brainwashing them, they're brainwashing them to like be happier people, you know, and they
Yeah.
think they're doing like a good thing by doing all these terrible things. So it's like, yeah, the outcome might, like, even though you think you're doing a good thing, the outcome can still be bad. So like the outcome is like, he's telling kids about flat Earth. Like, yeah, they're probably not gonna listen to him because, like, I don't know, like, I don't really think Nathan's doing much, really. So I don't really think it's that bad of what he's doing, because like I don't think the kids are actually gonna listen to him. But yeah,
Yeah, but
like
if I was even if I was a globe earther and I had some random guy walking up screaming at them over a fence that the Earth was a globe, let's say something that I do believe, something they do teach in school, I'd still not want him doing that. I still think that he needs to
yeah,
leave children alone. But the predator, I don't think that, you know, I kind of reconsider my labeling him of a predator, even if I feel like he has a predatory
at
nature
least
towards children. I think there's
yeah.
predators like scammers are predators towards towards old people or people that have less technological knowledge. So it makes them easier, more vulnerable to whatever you're trying to scam them with. And I see Flat Earth as a
I
scam.
agree. Yeah.
So, but that's how
Yeah.
I used to do it. I used to call him
Except
a predator, but I
the
don't
only
think that anymore.
the only difference is Nathan also believes in the scam, So
Yeah.
so Nathan's also getting scammed by the scam. So it's like I kind of feel sorry for him, Like instead of him being like the evil guy on top that's like doing all this stuff, I feel like Nathan's at the bottom, where he's the one being scammed. And so like I don't know, like you can't really like think he's like evil. Like I just at the end of the day I just feel sorry for him, Where it's
Yeah.
like, dang, like it sucks that like you feel like you have to do this, because like he doesn't have to do it, but in his mind he does have to do it. So it's like what can you do at that point? Like I can't tell him he's wrong because no matter what I say, nothing's gonna happen. So it's like you just kind of just have to like be like, oh well, like we'll showcase what you're doing and show it, but like we will tell people you're not a predator, but like it's the most we can do.
Yeah. And like I said, I've come to the agreement. Other people have said it to me in the community, but before I spoke with you, and that's when I kind of said, yeah, I can see that. Kind of like it kind of implies it has a certain social implication that he doesn't deserve, because I don't think he's out there doing anything wrong to children. I think he shouldn't be talking to other people's children about anything. But it's
But at the same time,
completely different. It's completely different though.
but but yeah, but it still isn't good that he's going up to like children at recess and it's not a good thing, Like even if he thinks that what he's doing is right, like it doesn't make it right just because he believes it to be right.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like that's like kind of the most important part is like what I just said, but our whole documentary was just like from the flat earther's point of view. So like if we're actually gonna get his point of view, like why is he doing this? Like that's it. I mean, it's kind of like Blake actually made a good point. He was like, it's kind of what they say about Hitler, Like they say if Hitler, like, because Hitler actually truly believed that Jews were bad. So like, can we make the same argument with Hitler of like, oh, Hitler wasn't bad. He killed all the Jews, but that's only because he thought they were bad people. Like he still did a lot of bad things that caused a bunch of negative energy for a lot of people. So at the end of the day, he's still like Hitler was still bad. But they always say about Hitler though, it's like if he would have put his energy into something else, like Hitler was very passionate. So if Hitler just would have like, what if Hitler grew up believing that Jews were good people? Like he could have done something really well for the Jewish community. But instead, it was just a sad circumstance that Hitler grew up believing that Jews were evil, and it's like it's
And that's
just
where
some
that's where he
external factor
placed
that
his
he couldn't
passion.
control. It's
Yeah.
like if Hitler just had like good parents that taught him that Jews were nice people, it's like Hitler could have been like a great person and like, but something that was like out of Hitler's control. It's like, and that's why I think it's just so sad seeing this like happen to Nathan, especially because like I don't know, like me and Blake kind of became like, at least our characters did, like ended up becoming friends with them. So it's kind of sad, like seeing like this person you spent the whole weekend with going up to kids and being like, oh, the earth is flat. Like your life is a lie. And like, I don't know. It's just, it was like, it definitely was like kind of hard. And we get more into that in like episode 5, I guess. But yeah, that part was kind of hard for us. That was the hardest part of the whole series.
Let's see. Bella Charge for $5 New Zealand says, Ben, that is the dumbest argument to justify that guy's actions, and now we are all dumber from hearing it. Bella's one of my favorite
Nice.
trolls. He's just out there having a good time. Cajun Crustacean for $2. I ain't seen you in forever, Crustacean. Good to see you, my friend. For $2. Nathan is chaotic, stupid. That's true. He is. Crafty Keela for €5 says, important correction. No one calls Nathan Thompson a pedophile. They call him a child predator. There is an important difference. And yeah, we addressed that, Crafty. And I do want to say again, like, whenever you call somebody a child predator, it has a negative connotation to it that society deems as meaning something sexual in nature.
Yeah.
And none of us, I think, are saying that accusing Nathan of doing something sexual in nature to children. I think if anybody was to say that to me, I would personally tell them, hey, you need to correct yourself unless you have evidence. If you have evidence that you want to support, if your evidence is that he's yelling at children over a fence, then that's not evidence enough for me to consider him like a sexual predator. But at the same time, I see the argument and I understand the argument. When I tell people, scammers or the Microsoft scammers or Amazon gift card scammers, they're predators because they prey on a certain group of people and they're predators towards that group of people. Nathan does, and I don't know if you've seen his other video, he may have removed it or not, but he actually made like a kid like cry because he followed him home, posted the video on the internet, even when the kid asked him, please take this down, please take this down. And he's like, why? There's flat. Oh, yeah, he probably eventually took it down when enough people from both sides of the fence said, Nathan, you're wrong. Take it down. Forget how I feel about you. You're wrong for doing this. Take it down. We can discuss the shape of the earth at another time, but right now let's discuss this child's privacy. And
I agree with you too. Like even if he was saying the earth is a globe, like it does still suck that you're doing that. You're right. Like I don't know, like it does suck more that you're saying that it's flat because like I don't know, but I guess just doing that in general, no matter what you're saying, is wrong. And I agree with you when you say that for sure. So like, I'm not trying to give Nathan like a ton of credit. I'm just trying to say like, I'm just trying to think of it from his point of view and saying like, this is why he does what he does. Because that was one of the biggest questions I had. Is like, why does Nathan go up to kids? And like in this documentary, we find out why. So I'm not saying it's a correct thing he's doing that. Like,
but intention means a lot. Intention means a lot.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that was one of the biggest questions I had going into it was why does Nathan go up to kids? Is he a predator? Is he, like, a pedophile? Is he just brainwashed? And that was the answer that we concluded, I guess, of why he does it.
Well, he does it because adults won't listen to him. Adults will not listen to him. You have to be working with a pretty underdeveloped mind. Whether for someone to follow Nathan Thompson, they have to have an underdeveloped mind. Whether it's underdeveloped in the critical thinking department or it's underdeveloped because they just haven't had a chance to be exposed to the truth in school, to the physics truth, to the science truth. So you're limited. You're limited with, half-wits, half-wit adults or intelligent children. And you can only talk to half-wit adults for so long, especially when you believe it as much as you do. And I agree with you. Like, his intention probably isn't that bad. He probably doesn't have a lot of evil intention behind doing what he does, but he sees that as probably one of his only ways to actually make an impact on something that he believes to be true.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to defend or attack Nathan. I'm not, like, for all these people in the comments that are saying, like, I'm arguing for Nathan. Like, I don't agree with what he's doing. I'm just saying, like, there was a big question, like, a big, like, fill in the blank of, like, Nathan does this because blank. And I was like, we got to figure out the blank, and I feel like that's the best way to describe the blank of why he does what he does. Not because he's, like, he loves kids or whatever, he's, like, creepy in any way. It's just because he believes that what he's doing is the correct thing, and that's the actual answer that we found out, at least. I'm not saying it's like a good or bad thing. Like, that's up to you guys to decide whether that's good or bad. I was just here to document this is why he does it,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you like this. He has a picture of me in his phone in a mankini. He is creepy as fuck. I thought it was creepy when I was in a debate with him on evolution, and out of nowhere, he just takes his phone and holds it up just like this. He's like, right up to the camera, hold it up like that. And it's a fucking picture of me in a mankini from our debate, because I've debated him. I was wearing a mankini the whole time underneath my shirt.
That's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it was a bit creepy for him to keep that around.
Maybe he was just cool around us because we, like I said, we always had a camera on him,
Yeah.
And so if you always have a camera on, you always have to, like, be careful about what you do and say. And we were agreeing with them after, like, pretty much an hour into it. Like, we did the toilet paper experiment. After that, we prove it's flat, and now it's like we're on his side. So he's not going to want to appear creepy to us, So so maybe there's a whole side of Nathan that we didn't get to capture, but from what we did, I don't know, but what we did capture, he didn't appear creepy to us, at least while we were with him. Yeah. However, we were in a very bizarre circumstance that we put him in. So I can't really elaborate too much more than that,
Yeah, I was just about to tell everybody in the chat, just so Reckless Ben can see it. Go ahead and spam those Team Skeptic mankini emojis, and there you go, right there.
That's so funny. Nathan made those?
Me. No, that's me. I ain't scared to
That's
jump
so
into a
funny.
mankini. I fucking party, Ben. I fucking party. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's all your boy right here. Let's
Is
see.
the mankini the thing that Borat uses?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
the
Borat.
mankini? Oh,
Exactly.
nice, dude. That's so funny.
Dude, I wore it to a debate with him. There's a funny story. Let me tell you the funny story about this. Okay, so I had I was joking and saying one day, oh, if we do this, I'll fucking wear a mankini for you guys. And that whatever it was, I don't remember what it was that night, but we did it real quick and I was like, fuck, man, I'm gonna have to get a mankini now. So I ordered one off of Amazon and then it got delayed. This was last Halloween, right? It got delayed in shipping, so I ran up to the store and I bought another one. But the mankini was supposed to be delivered that day, like it was marked for delivery. So I put on the mankini. I went to the store and bought a mankini and then put it on. And then I was sitting here doing a show in a mankini. A knock at the door, right? We're talking Halloween here, okay? Knock at the door. First thing that goes through my mind is, it's UPS. Jump up to go run and answer the door. Totally forgot that it's fucking Halloween and that there's kids knocking on the door for candy. And I opened the door and it was waist up. Like when I opened the door, I looked because I wasn't about to stand in front of the UPS driver like, hey, here's my junk. I was expecting another like human being there. So I opened the door and I looked down and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But you could see from the like top up that I was wearing the mankini and their parents were right behind him. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm in a live show on the internet right now. And I just shut the door. And I was like, no one else knocked on my door the rest of the night. And I eventually got my other mankini. But yeah, that was what happened with the mankini event. Then I wore it to,
Oh my gosh.
it was harmless. It was a very harmless experience. It probably shattered the dreams of a few children that night, but it was unintentional.
Or
Then
made the
I,
dreams, maybe.
yeah, or made them right. No, but then I wore it to the live in person debate. This was the second time I dealt with Nathan Thompson, and I wore it underneath my shirt and stuff. I didn't want to make it like a scene. It was like modern day debate was a whole different channel, and I didn't want to ruin their show by wearing it during the debate. But after the debate was done, I was like taking it off and sitting there taking pictures with everybody in the mankini. And Nathan Thompson, I guess he snuck around somebody and was like, psh, and he kept it on his phone. Like, what the fuck would you keep that on your phone? Like a picture of another man in a mankini. I mean, I know I'm sexy and everything. I'm sure you're probably copying and pasting my emojis all over your desktop right now. And that's cool. Go ahead. I'm definitely a sexy motherfucker. Fum
Yeah, I don't
Duckery.
know.
Fum Duckery for $2 says we need to discuss the Reptilian Overlords team. Well, I guess he's gonna be doing a video on Reptilian Overlords, so we'll leave that for his videos. You gotta subscribe to Ben to catch
Coming.
that one.
Already got the guy. I got the guy.
Dib Dib for $5 says got any grapes? Not sure why you said that, Dib Dib, but no, actually I don't have any grapes right now.
Me, I usually do have grapes, but sadly not tonight.
PhD Tony for 5 Aussie dollars. Now this is somebody who's destroyed flat Earth, the flat Earth hopes and dreams. He's a PhD. He works in
Oh, nice.
geophysics, and he's one of the coolest people you ever fucking meet. Around children, Nathan Thompson behaves intellectually inappropriately. This should emphatically not be represented or interpreted as predatory behavior. And I think Tony was probably the one who really put me on that mindset that calling him a predator was kind of a bad thing. It really implies something that he's not, and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't misrepresent people. Nathan Thompson's a piece of shit. I'll agree. He shouldn't be talking to children. I agree. Is he predatory? From society terms, no, not at all. He's not predatory. If you want to go, pedantic terms, then you could maybe say there was predatory nature in his behavior, but it's definitely not sexual. So I would prefer to follow in Tony's suit and just say, let's stop saying that he's a child predator, guys, and
He's
let's
like one of those
acknowledge.
people that like one of those like crazy preacher guys that show up on campus. Like are they predators? No, they're just wrong and annoying. And it's like
Yeah.
pretty much it. In
So
my opinion.
So the got any grapes question from Dib Dib. Also for another $5 from Dib Dib, it says the duck song. Damn it! So I guess he's talking about the duck song there. My bad, Dib Dib.
I don't know a duck song. I'm so sorry. That
It's all
involves
right.
grapes.
You're not the only person in this call that doesn't know what the duck song is. Because I don't either. Pivot Kairoy for €5. Woo! Just in time to catch the stream. YouTube once again failed to notify me. Yeah, they're gonna do that, guys. For the time being, until they get off of their whole fucking denying content creators who are going against these weirdos on the internet. You're going to have to actually go and check your subscription feed to see if anything new is coming out. But thank you, Pivot. I appreciate that. The Athens 619. Now, the Athens 619, he was there for that debate when I did it in the Mankini. He was there for the in-person debate. $5 says Mark ran when Logan Paul came and said he was a flat earther. He enjoyed being called the mayor of flat earth, and not to mention what he wears. It's not an act. Or I'm sorry, it is an act. It is an act. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. And when Logan Paul, like, okay, so there's a person in that documentary, really tall guy named Robbie Davidson. That guy's a believer in the flat earth, right? A true believer. And he's one of the major players. He's the one that puts together all the Flat Earth International conferences. And when he saw Logan Paul come up and start talking about, oh, I'm thinking about being a flat earther, maybe I'm a flat earther, I don't know, I guess I'm a flat earther, he jumped on it because he was like, he saw value, he saw like a commercial value, like an economic value, as well as a way to speak to millions of people through Logan Paul. So he was like, bring him on, give him a spot in the Flat Earth International Conference. And that was like a month before. That was basically what you guys did with Logan Paul gathering all of his footage and information and all of that to troll the Flat Earth. So that was a good one. And yeah, I agree. Mark Sargent.
Do you think flat earthers know that Mark Sargent is faking it, or
Some
do you
do.
think a lot of flat earth like do you think Nathan Thompson believes that Mark's a flat earther or not?
I don't know. That's
Like
a really
someone as
good
hardcore as
question.
Nathan.
That's
I
a
wonder what
really good
Nathan's
question.
opinions on it.
Uh,
My opinion, dude, I don't know. I mean, you guys all are convinced. Dude, I don't know. It's like I feel like Nathan right now, where like I'm like everyone's convinced he's
are they
a round
gaslighting
earther,
me?
but I'm not buying it. Maybe I'm the
Yeah.
only one that believes he's actually a flat. Dude, I don't know.
Well, even Nathan Thompson. So when you say do other flat earthers think that, I think probably Mark Sargent out of the big flat earthers, the one they believe the less or the least would be Mark Sargent. Nathan Thompson, you get people that stop wanting to follow him but are still flat earthers, so they refuse to admit he's on the same team as them. So you'll have a group of flat earthers that say, "No, Nathan Thompson's just trolling you guys. He's just bullshit and he's not a real flat earther." But that's just because they have a hate boner for Nathan Thompson and they can't accept the fact that they both believe in the same bullshit. And then Eric Dubay, of course, he probably gets quite a bit of people saying that he's not a real flat earther as well. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys think that any of the flat earthers out there actually believe Mark Sargent's a flat earther? And that's the other thing.
Because like,
Nathan
what's it like?
Thompson.
Like the convention. Like, think about Nathan going to like a flat Earth convention. Like, if he knows that Mark's fake and being like, what's up,
Oh,
Mark? Like, and he just
Mark.
knows, like, what do they do?
Well, Mark
Like, that's gotta
Sargent
be
is
funny to
still a
like audience.
value. I mean, he's still a value to the flat Earth, and I think the bigger flat earthers, like when Robbie Davidson puts together his event, I don't think he really thinks of Mark Sargent as being either a flat earther or not. I think he looks at him as
He's
being
just
like
like,
an
he's valuable to
economical
me.
advantage. Yeah, he has an economic value to him. But at the same time, I know Robbie Davidson's a hardcore biblical cosmology guy as well. He's not a Poe. Like the guy who throws the Flat Earth International Conference, he's 100%. He threw me out. He threw me out within 10 minutes of being there, said, went and got security and said, that guy, and that guy need to leave right now.
Did you
And
do anything yet, or were you like
no,
starting trouble, or
no, not at all. Oh my God, it's crazy. So I walk in, right, and I got this whole thing on video camera. So I walk in, and he walks in through a side door, and I believe Mark Beiser was probably there in the chat. I think he was there with me, and a guy named MC Toon was also in the chat. He's also a flat Earth debunker. So as we were walking up to the main area where all the flat earthers were getting together, Robbie Davidson comes from outside through a little door right to where I'm at. And so I was like, "Oh, hey, Robbie, nice to meet you." And I shook his hand. I was like, "I'm David, Team Skeptic." And once I said Team Skeptic, he just let go of my hand, and he was like, I was like, "I'd love to have an interview with you and talk to you about this." And he was like, "No, I'm sorry, I'm really busy this weekend," and walks off. You could tell immediately he was just giving me the cold shoulder. No fucking big deal. I kind of expected it. The very next
Uh-huh.
person I run into is a guy named D Marble. Now, D Marble's another one of those guys, super hardcore flat earther. He holds flat Earth meetups. He drives around and from city to city in his van. He's got the whole flat Earth shtick going for him, right? So he comes out, and I say, "Hey, D Marble," and D Marble looks at me. He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "David, nice to meet you." And I put my hand out. Reached out to shake my hand, and I said, "Team Skeptic." And I said, "I'd love to get you for an interview." And as soon as I said that, he just dropped my hand, tapped my shoulder, and turned around and walked off. So again, he cold shouldered me.
Dang,
But
dude.
Mark Sargent, though, right? I saw Mark Sargent, I said, "Hey, Mark, I'd love to get an interview from you. I'm Team Skeptic." He goes, "Oh, I know who you are. I'll see if I can make time for you." And I was like, "Hey, cool. That's better than the other two guys." Sure enough, he comes down like the second day. That was the first day when I first got there. The second day, he comes down that hallway, or he comes down this hallway, and he looks at me, and he's like, I say, "Hey, Mark, if you're free, I'd love to get that interview." And he's like, "Man, I've got a lot of things going on right now. It's going to be hard." 2 minutes later, I get a tap on the shoulder. It's Mark Sargent. He said, "Hey, I'm going to put all those guys off because I can deal with them later. Let's go ahead and knock out this interview." And now he knows. He knows that I'm the number one detractor in the entire building of him. I know who he is. I'm actively against the flat earth. I'm there to refute his rhetoric, and he drops everything else to give me the interview. Now it spoke a lot on his character to me, but at the same time, that's when I really started going, yeah, this guy's not really a flat earther. Like, there's no way. He's here for the value that he's going to get from my audience. He knows I'm going to make a video. He knows I'm going to put it out. All these other people are saying, that they'll be there for him because, they're flat earthers. They're sweating him. They want to talk to him and interview him. But he came over and gave it to me. I thought, hey, number one, he's a cool guy. Number two, he's a fucking Poe. Bottom line. And the
Or
interview
maybe
we
he
had.
genuinely believes in maybe he genuinely believes in flat Earth and wanted to get his message out to your audience because that's his way. If he's like, because I know what Nathan says a lot is he's like, if someone has two eyes to see, two ears to listen, then they will believe in flat Earth. So he's like, if I can get my message out to their audience, if they just hear what I have to say, the only reason they don't believe in flat Earth is because they haven't heard me out yet. So if I get to show my side to his audience, maybe once they hear me out, they'll become flat Earthers.
The other
I don't know.
argument to that would be that we didn't talk about flat Earth the whole time. We talked about him and Patricia
Oh,
Steer,
really?
and yeah, he wasn't interested in talking to me about flat Earth, which is
Oh,
cool.
dude, I don't know.
I told him it was an interview. I was like, "Hey, we can talk about whatever you want. I don't have to. I'm not here to debunk your arguments or anything like that. It's not a debate." I asked him questions. I said, "Hey, what do you think about the flat Earth dying like it is?" His response to me was, "But it's not dying." I was like, "Well, yeah, it is. We're seeing less and less videos, less and less supporters of the flat Earth. Most of the bigger guys have stopped putting out content, including yourself, Mark. You don't put out content anymore. You do live streams and interviews." And it was still a good conversation. I don't want to knock Mark. I think what he's doing, he's making a living off of the flat Earth. That's brilliant to me. If you're making a living off of something you don't actually believe in, that's fucking brilliant. And that's my personal opinion. I don't think he is. I'm sure there are people out there that do see him as a legitimate flat earther. But he doesn't do any work with flat earthers, though. Only work he does is with globe earthers. And that I think that's because that flat earthers even see through him. Flat earthers know what he's there for. He's there for the fame, and good on him because he got it. He's on all kinds of international television.
Dang, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. That blows my mind if that's the case. That's
But
crazy.
we have
So
we have Hessifer for 4.99 says I can't think of anything cool to say, but I did sub to Ben though. Robert
oh, thank
Williams.
you so much.
Robert Williams for $5, 4.99, baby. In Nathan's defense, who the F would expect me to say that for his anti-education ideas? The most educated person he knows is JM Truth. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that guy, but that's like, it used to be Nathan's little sidekick. One day he came onto my show and was like, I'm bringing on a physicist. And I was like, fuck yeah, bring on a physicist that believes that the earth is flat. He gets on, and the very first thing I ask him, or one of the first things he says is that 10 to the negative 17 is a negative number. And I was like, no, it's not. And he's like, yes, it is. I was like, no, it's not. It's a really small positive number. It's not negative. And he's like, he argued with me about it and then doubled down on it in future live streams and said, look,
I think
10. Go ahead.
I feel like that's one of those situations where, like, instead of just debating them at that point, you just let them talk, and then the audience can decide for themselves. I feel like you don't really have to like show that guy, like, because at that point, like, no matter what you say, it's not gonna like matter. You can just be like, yeah, explain to me why 10 to the negative 17th is a negative number. Like, and then it just makes them look even. I don't know. Like,
Oh yeah,
I feel
he
like that's
whipped out a
one of those moments where you just let them
calculator.
control themselves.
He whipped out a calculator and said, look, 10 times negative 17. What does that say? Negative 170. 10 to the negative 17 is a negative number. And you're just like,
Like, I feel like you don't need to prove yourself to those type of people. You know, like, you just like
no, it's just fun.
The
Yeah.
best content you're gonna get out of him is just let him talk and just
Yeah, that's what we typically do now anyway. Is just let them speak and let them fucking say something stupid because that's the funniest shit, especially when they're genuine about their stupidity. Lindau at speed for $5 Canadian. Hey everybody, support from Quebec City. Well, thank you very much, Lindau. I appreciate that. Rampant for 1,000 Chilean pesos, or like we like to call them in America, them claps. For the Duck Dude, do you keep in touch with Nathan? That's a good question.
So I actually called him, and after we settled our beef was, it turned out, was over the payments, because I'll give a little backstory. So we told Nathan we would pay him for like his Uber rides, for like some things that we couldn't pay from right away, and we said, save your receipts, send them to us, and we'll pay you. Nathan never sent us the receipts, so we never paid him. And the second he sent us the receipts, we planned on paying him. So that was our point of view. Nathan's point of view is, these guys lied to me the whole weekend. They were also lying about the receipts. So I can send them why would I give them my bank information? Like, they're just going to do some sketchy stuff, you know? So I see Nathan's side on that. And that's what caused the beef between us on Irish Demons podcast. Basically, I just said, like, hey, like, Nathan, I can't pay you unless I know how much to pay you. Like, you just expect me to read your mind. Like, I can't do that. Like, I'm just a human. I'm not a mind reader. So Nathan understood that logic and was like, well, he does have a point. He can't read my mind, so I might as well send him these receipts. So he sent us the receipts. We paid him, and now it's like the beef is squashed. So we had a very friendly conversation the next day where Nathan actually watched a lot of my YouTube videos, and I think Nathan's a fan. He's like, yo, like, you truly are Reckless Ben. Like I actually enjoy the content you make, and I'm actually excited to watch the series now. And I was like, sick, dude. And I was nice back to him because, I mean, we put him through hell basically, so I can't really be mean to him. I don't deserve to give any more. But anyways, so it turns out he's actually really big into slacklining too. He actually has a slackline set up in his backyard. He does it all the time. So I sent him, I have my own brand of slacklines. It's called the Ben Schneider slackline. And I sent him the Ben Schneider Pro model. And I think that Nathan might actually be my first sponsored athlete if he's down. And I want to sponsor him. I think it's the best I can do to repay him for the weekend he gave us, is to make him my first sponsored athlete, have a flat earther. And maybe we can make some funny commercials about how the earth is flat, like how a slackline proves it's flat, because the slackline would be closer to the like, as if the world was round, on the ends you have to set up higher, and it would be shorter in the middle, because like if it's like round, If you see
Yeah.
it, like the slack line would be like this, so it would be high up on the ends and touching the middle. So maybe we could make some funny advertisement like that. I don't know,
Oh
but
yeah.
I don't know. I want to sponsor Nathan. I feel like that's the next step in this whole process.
Yeah, and hey, that's cool, man. If you want to shoot me any kind of information you have for your website, I'll be more than happy to add it to the description of this as well. I put in your episode 4 video and I put in your channel link already, but I mean, we
Oh,
have a bunch of,
nice.
yeah, there's some athletic people out there, I'm sure, that watch this. I'm sure it's not all 100% computer nerds like me. So, let's see, Brainy Beaver
Dude,
for
if
two.
even
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, even for the computer nerds, like if you're like, oh, I can't balance, that's why a slackline's perfect for you because it'll teach you how to balance. It's the perfect thing. And it's really fun. You can set it up anywhere. I don't want this to be like an ad for my slackline, so let's move on. But it is fun if you guys want one.
Well, tonight really is all about you and your channel. I wanted to give an exposure to the people out there who might catch this, to who you really are. So even if we end up going on a tangent to talk about something like that, it's still about who you are. And I think that as amazing as your channel is, you deserve more exposure. In fact, I've been watching over here to see if we can help him cross. Oh, whoops, hold on, let me mute that. We're at 79.9 thousand subscribers, guys. I know there's 100
Oh
people out there
wow.
that have not subscribed to Reckless Ben. Let's see if we can push him over 80,000 in this stream. I want to see that right now. In fact, I'm going to share the fucking link in the chat to make it fucking easy for you guys to do that. Here you go. If you're not subscribed, go
Oh, dude, thank
subscribe.
you so much, dude.
Nah, we're gonna get you over eight. We're gonna get you over 80K in this
You're
stream
incredible.
right now. And let's
No
see, we
way, dude.
Brainy Beaver for $2 Canadian. Psh, Mankini. How about syrup covered beaver on his channel? Yeah, I love the syrup covered beaver. That's amazing. You're hilarious,
Drip covered
Brainy.
beaver.
Yeah, Brainy Beaver's a really good content creator. Very undersubbed content creator. Dib Dib for $5. Oh, I read this one. The Duck Song, damn it. Mr. Nielsen for, oh my goodness, 89 Donkey Kong dollars. That would say, think about it again. You said in a mankini to parents of trick or treat children, I am in a live stream right now. Imagine what kind of live stream they thought you were in. Oh yeah, the moment I said, I'm sorry, I'm in a show on the internet right now, in a live show on the internet right now, I just shut the door because I realized how bad that was. That was worse than answering the door in the mankini. Dib Dib, and thank you, Mr. Nielsen. I appreciate it. You truly humble me. Dib Dib for $5. Oven mitts engaged. Chat, fellow teamers, help. Yes, he's talking about us not knowing the Duck Song. And yeah, I like that, man. You guys need to call yourself the Teamers, the Teamsters. We need to get a name going, and I'm gonna rebrand my membership program in 2021 to be something along the lines of Teamers or Teamsters. And Dib Dib also said for $5, oh, and fuck YouTube. Good job, Dib Dib. Dib Dib also for $5 more says, thank you for showing flat earthers how simple it is to convince people of something. By the way, living lesson. Yeah, that's another thing, right? We can see it for comedy, but there's also a really, like a psychiatrist or a psychologist could really break down that video and really say, look, these are some of the problems that flat earthers have. They'll just believe anybody. They can discuss confirmation bias, Dunning-Kruger. A lot of these things are highlighted with your videos that you may not even have any intention whatsoever of highlighting or bringing to the forefront of some of these like, I don't want to say mental problems because it's, that means something different, but some of these ways of thinking they have that are problematic. You care to elaborate?
Yeah, so that's gonna be like my next series, I guess. I don't think it might only be like two videos, but yeah, it's gonna be the whole story, but from our point of view. So it's gonna be Nathan acted this way because blank. It's gonna be this is how we pulled this off, and we're gonna talk about all the secrets that we did and all of the like. We're gonna get into like the real psychology of like, okay, this is what happened, this is why it happened, and I think that's gonna be really interesting for a lot of people to see that. But I'll save that for those. You gotta watch the video to find out. which is
I
so good.
like that. I like keeping them on their toes. Now we're not gonna give you everything, guys. You better get out there and watch the video. Team Skeptic
I've
fucking says
discussed a
so.
little bit of it, but yeah, you get to really see like why they think this, how what we did is the analogy for flat Earth, and yeah, you'll get to all see it in the. I don't want to call it behind the scenes. It's gonna be like an explained version, where we just like explain everything. But it's gonna be exciting though. Like don't think just because it's like we're explaining things, it's not. It's gonna be just as exciting. Don't worry,
Ben,
because you
I'm
get to see it from
standing
our
up
point of
for you,
view. Like
bro.
when you
I'm standing up for you.
like,
You, my friend, have 80,000 fucking subscribers. What the
oh,
fuck?
sick, dude.
Everybody put your whoops. Everybody put your goddamn hands together and your feet together. Play with yourself. Do whatever you have to do in celebration of an amazing fucking channel hitting an amazing fucking milestone. Ben, you fucking rock, bro. It was a pleasure to
Crazy.
help you get to that point tonight.
Well, dude, it's your fans, bro. I mean, your fans are crazy, dude.
They are. I absolutely have the best on the fucking internet. So rampant. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed one. A excuse me. Alien X Gaming for $5. Hello team and Ben. YouTube has been censoring my chat all night. So can I get a big fuck YouTube? Ben, can I hear it from you, bro? Can I get a big fuck YouTube?
Oh yeah, fuck you too to YouTube.
Yeah, fuck you too to YouTube. Yes, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy. Like, I love hitting milestones, and I love watching other people have fucking amazing things happen to them. And that's fucking awesome, bro. I'm so glad we got you over that 80. Not that you wouldn't have gotten it on your own. Come on now. If a couple hundred
Dude,
people
I don't
got you
think I
there
would
in
have,
one.
dude.
Oh, come
It's your fans.
on.
They're crazy.
Well, I subbed with all 100 of my sock accounts for you, so you'll
I
see.
wouldn't have got it tonight. We'll say that it would have been. I probably would have gotten it. You're right, but it wouldn't have been tonight. So
You
thank
deserve
you
it
for
though,
that.
man. You deserve it. The quality, I'm telling you guys, anybody that's out there that's questioning or just thinking later, you might sub, you'll go check him out. The production quality is amazing on the videos. The actors that he says, like
Dude, they
Blake
were
was amazing,
so
dude.
good.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we have coming up here in a second. As we get ready, we're getting ready to close this down, and we'll talk about our, what we have coming up in, I believe this weekend. But if you have Blake for this weekend, man, he's more than welcome to come on here. I would have
Oh,
loved to have
nice.
had him on here for tonight, especially knowing he's fucking an improv guy, because I improv everything live. I don't
Nice.
need a
Yeah,
fucking script live.
Blake.
Let's do this for fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Go.
Blake knows nothing about math. It's all just. I was a mechanical engineer in real life, so I could kind of. It was easy for me to play that part. I didn't have to pretend. Blake was pretending the whole time. We'll just say that. Yeah, Blake is. He went to school for like acting and theater and film. So every time math came up, he was just like, I don't know how he did it, dude. He was so good.
Well, I would love to have the same conversation I'm having with you. I'd love to have that with him because he was just. I know it's your channel, it's your video, but man, he was like. I don't think the cake
He's
would have been
good.
complete without the Blake icing on it. You know what I mean? Like
It
he might
wouldn't
have
have,
been
dude.
there. There was a whole big thing like this of fucking sweet, good fucking sponge cake, and then there was that Blake on the top that just made it so fucking enjoyable and addictive to go back to. So tell Blake, man,
Dude, he
he's
killed it,
welcome
dude.
any fucking time.
On our next series, we're playing the same Harvard students where he's it's kind of a continuation on like yeah like we found out the earth is flat and it's like well what's next, we're in a simulation, and so it's like the story continues on. That's what season two is. Same, it's like the same story, just it just keeps going, and we'll stay Harvard students for as long as it is entertaining, I guess. And the second it gets boring, we'll switch to new characters, I guess. But for now, it's season two is same characters.
Uh, awesome. I'm looking
So
forward to it.
so
I'm looking
so
forward to it. Mr. Nielsen for
and
129 Donkey Kong dollars. Man, that's fine, team. By the way, YouTube has an issue with channel owners not being able to put links in the chat. I have no clue why, though. It makes no sense. Well, god damn it, people need to go over there and subscribe to Mr. Nielsen too. I think that's what you're trying to say, Mr. Nielsen, but you deserve a subscription. Let's go over there and subscribe. Rampant. Well, this is the final super chat, and this is the question for you, and I'll let you answer the question, and then we'll wrap it up. Rampant for 1,000 claps says, for Duckman, that's what your new name is, Duckman, do you think Nathan may have depression?
Oh shoot. Like biologically probably no. Um I know he does drink a lot and they say drinking can be an external source of depression. But he's not like I mean, yeah, he did drink every night that we were there, but he was also on vacation, such like to be expected, you know, like we made this a vacation for him and most people drink when they're on vacation. So, I don't know how often he drinks when he's not around us and not in those circumstances, so I can't speak on that. But yeah, I knew him for 3 days. Yeah, I don't know. We were mostly thinking like we were mostly diving into like why does he believe in a flat Earth? We didn't really go to the roots of like yo, are you depressed? So I'm probably not the right
Yeah.
person to answer that. It is. I mean, yeah, he gets sad. Yeah, he gets happy. I don't think more than a normal person. Like when things happen to him, he wasn't happier than a normal. He wasn't sadder than a normal person. Like he seemed pretty normal to me, except for the fact of all his crazy beliefs. Besides that, like the way he would just act in like a normal conversation was like very normal. Um, but I mean, also what we were doing this weekend was like everything was like, hooray for flat Earth, hooray for flat Earth, hooray, let's boost Nathan's ego, let's do another good thing. So like we didn't really give him any chances to be sad. But dude, I don't know. Like I don't know. I would say I'm probably one of the worst people to ask about that. That's just from my experience from what we
Yeah,
did. But
I
yeah, I
didn't
don't know.
when I saw him, I didn't
I would
think.
guess no.
Yeah, when with
That would
my
be my
two
guess.
experiences with him, I didn't feel like he was depressed on in either one. I felt like he was a bit intimidated the second time I met him. The first time I met him, I kind of surprised him, and I think he had that fight or flight response going on because you could see him doing certain things with his body. Like when he was walking, as I got closer, he started to keep walking straight, but his chest turned more towards the wall. Like he had said some fucked up shit about me. And I think that even though I told him that there was not going to be a problem, and even though I told him I was going to be cool with him, I think the thought went through his head still, God, I did say that I was going to fuck this dude up the next time I see him. And he did say, okay, just, don't be scared to do it. Like go ahead and bring it on and don't be scared. And I think he really, like when he saw me, he kind of felt like maybe that was about to happen. So I don't think he had any depressed nature in the two times I've met him. But delusion's another thing. I do think he's delusional.
Yeah.
I do think he suffers from Dunning-Kruger. What do you think?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know his background history of like how he was raised. Maybe he just didn't have a good education when he was young. Who knows, you know? Like I didn't dive that deep into his life to understand. Like I said, like the entire weekend we were doing things that he would agree with that would be beneficial for him. So, at the end of the day, I don't know. Like I would guess no, but I was put in a very weird circumstance with him. So, at the end of the day, who knows, you know?
Well, we got two more that just came in before we get out of here. Mr. Nielsen said, nope, not at all. No links from you, team, or your mods. Well, I just made you a mod. Go ahead and try and put your link to your channel in there now. Because, Mr. Nielsen, you've been nothing but good to me and my channel. And you, excuse me, you definitely deserve a moderator. And I'm not even talking about, because you donate. I'm saying because you've been around my channel for a long time and you've never had anything but the best of intentions for me. And that's the type of person I need as a mod. So now you can share your link, sir. And the Athens 619, who was there in person for my Nathan Thompson debate, for $5. If Nathan is a heavy drinker, then why the fuck did he go off on Aaron Raw hypocrisy? Which, yeah, that was a recent debate that they had. Nathan
I
kept
don't
trying
know.
to.
I wasn't.
I
I didn't see
I
it.
think Well, yeah. From my perspective, because I'm a bit more aware of that situation. I think Nathan was just trying to trigger Arn because he knew he was like Nathan's an intellectual midget compared to Arn Raw. So
You can also get drunk sometimes and not be you don't have to be like addicted to alcohol to get drunk. Like I wouldn't say I'm addicted. I've definitely been drunk before, you know? Like you can get drunk and not be like a huge drug addict, I don't know.
yeah.
Also other opinion.
Well, we're going to wrap this up right now. I'm going to answer just a couple of things from the chat. We won't be here for more than a minute or so. The plot hole for $2 says, "Cheers, Ben, from the best part of your Nathan Thompson video, me." Which the plot hole was in, he's the guy with the big beard. I think it was at the very end of episode 4 when he was like, "You're just believing a bunch of idiots on the internet." Like, I think that was
see
at
the
the very
compilation
end.
of the round earth response of like, yo, you're being something about the jackass in a duck suit. You
Yeah,
see that guy?
something. Yeah, I think that was him
That
actually.
was funny.
Yeah, that and the plot
That was
hole. Another
funny.
guy I've had an opportunity to meet in person. He's an absolute good, great content creator. And yes, you were right in episode 4. Now you're a star, Johnny. Now you're an absolute star. Thanks to Reckless Spin here. Fried Jimmy for $5. There has been no links in your entire stream team. What the fuck is that all about? Nah,
Guess
fuck
you guys will have to
that.
find them the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, go put some work into your thumbs. And then and yeah, thank you guys for pointing that out. I will make sure that that's fixed by the next time. Morton Nielsen or Mr. Nielsen for 45 Donkey Kong dollars. Damn it, team, that's not it. No one, including you, can link any channels in YouTube chat at the moment. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, like Ben said, you're going to have to do this the old-fashioned 1930s YouTube way by going into the search bar, typing Reckless Ben, and looking him up. Now, Mr. Ben, man, I had a fucking great time tonight. Would you have a good time, man?
It was fun. This is a good morning. As I said, I woke up like minutes before we did this. So yeah, dude, this has been a great morning. I'm gonna spend the rest of it editing episode 5. Hopefully, I can get it done by next Thursday. It's the goal. It's gonna be done, or I'll pull all-nighters if it comes to that. But yeah, dude, that's what I'm doing after this. Just a bunch of editing. So
Yeah.
how my night's going.
Anything you want to tell the chat out there before we get out of here tonight?
I guess just hopefully you enjoy the series. Hopefully I made you guys laugh. If so, there's a lot more series coming. That's all I have to say. And I thank all of you guys for being cool fans and being cool about everything.
Well, man, I want to say
I would
thank
much
you.
rather
Go ahead.
have a smaller audience and an audience that loves it than a huge audience of people that are just like that watch your stuff mindlessly, you know? Like I
That's
love the audience that we have, you know?
Yeah,
I
I want
love
to
it.
say I spoke about this not too long ago. I was telling somebody that if you watch a channel like Linus Tech Tips or Jay's 2 Cents, anything that does like very technical stuff, what you'll do is you'll see that they get a lot of views and they have a lot of subscribers, but they have like
But no
no
one really
interaction.
cares about them.
No one
Yeah,
cares. It's not emotionally gripping, and you don't want to find
yeah.
yourself in that position on YouTube. You got a
I'd
bright
rather
future ahead of you, man. Straight up, man.
Oh, thanks. I'd rather have a small audience, but those people are gonna like lie in bed at night like, how did he pull this off? You know, or like, I can't believe he did that. Like, I want people to think about me after they watch the YouTube video, not just watch it and like instantly forget, you know?
Yeah.
That's my goal at least.
Well, you did
But
that with this
hopefully,
video series, man. You did that. I would say, whenever you're reviewing back, see what works for you in that video, man, in that series. Because damn, if you master that, you'll be the next million subscriber, bro. And I'm not even trying to blow, smoke up your butt or anything like that. I legitimately mean that you have a very good opportunity to go a really, really long way if you just keep making content like that. It doesn't have to be flat Earth, obviously. I mean, we were talking earlier about so many other different things. Do it
oh yeah,
all.
dude, there's like an infinite number of them, dude.
And keep
They're
Blake around.
crazy.
Keep fucking Blake around.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, Blake is gonna be in the next I don't know, at least like three or four of them that I'm doing, I guess. So no, I'm keeping him around, dude. Blake is like he's like a hidden treasure, I guess. Like, I feel like I like struck gold when I found him, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like he's another one of those guys who's like just super talented, doesn't really get the recognition he deserves. He has his own YouTube channel. Check it out at Blake Rozier.
Hey, if you wanna
He's pretty funny.
send that channel to me too, so I can add it to the description down here. He's worth mentioning in this
Yeah, dude, Blake's
description.
hilarious, and he only has like 20,000 subscribers, so he's like, I feel like he doesn't really get the he's learning how to edit better. So I think I'm kind of teaching him how to. Once his editing gets better, like I think his videos are gonna really pick up. But dude, he's so funny, and I feel like he's another one of those people that just totally doesn't really. I'm looking up his channel right now. He's one of those people that is one of the funniest guys I've ever met, and just doesn't really get the recognition. So I don't know. I feel like using him was a great thing just because it's like hopefully he gets recognition through a series, and the more series, if they start to blow up, he'll start getting recognition too. So it's the goal, dude. We
He
all blow up
deserves it.
together, I guess.
Yeah, he deserves it. You both do. And Sir for $2 reminded me that everybody, Ben's link is in the channel already. So if you don't want to be the
Okay.
lazy fucking boomer out there, then go ahead and just follow. Go into the description, click on that link, drop a sub, watch episodes 1 through 4 that are out right now, and be ready for episode number 5 because I cannot fucking wait. Well,
Episode
Ben,
five's the craziest, dude.
man, now you just
It's
God, I just
crazy.
want to fucking I want to see it now. That's why I don't watch fucking
It's not
shows
done
like on
yet. I gotta finish
TV.
it first.
I know I don't watch
I
shows
gotta
on
finish
TV
it.
until a whole season's done. The Mandalorian, I watch 1 through 8 all in one sitting. And I can't stop watching. Like once you told me episode 4 was up, I turned it on in the car on the way home. I shut it down when I got here. I jumped on my computer as I set everything up and I played it and I watched that while I was getting everything set up for this. And once I got to the end, I said, God damn it, that was funny. Let's go back and watch it again. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ben. Chat, you fucking rock tonight. All my members, everybody that supports the channel, share this podcast, share this interview, share this show. We are going to see you on Saturday. I have two things planned
Dang,
for you
okay.
guys. I have the my next Nathan Thompson flat Earth or anti-mask video because he went full blown Karen the other day, and I have a few things to say about that. And then we have a show for you on Saturday. Ben, I've invited you to the show. You don't have to obligate yourself now. You've kind of soft obligated, but I wouldn't take that as a hardcore yes until I've confirmed it with you. But feel free to confirm now or say maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I hope to get you
See what I'm
and Blake.
doing.
Yeah, well, if you and Blake are available, y'all should come on. We're going to have Conspiracy Cats. It's going to be me, Conspiracy Cats, and if these two gentlemen join us, those two gentlemen as well. Until then,
Oh, nice.
I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm
Sweet.
out.
See you guys.
All right, man, we're off.